hello all. Welcome once again to Blaine's Escape Corner, our little corner of the internet that helps us find what we escape, helps us enjoy what we escape. I forget what I call that. Whatever. YouTube had an update and your subs are missing and you can't like community posts. I don't think YouTube did that to me. Am I still safe from this YouTube craze? This just in from YT is dead. Hello, my pumpkin loving brother.
You heard it
on the ground.
YouTube is dead.
YouTube is dead. What happened to YouTube?
The subscription bar just doesn't work. It won't fill in anything. And this
let me
happened
see.
probably half an hour ago, so just in time for your stream.
Subscriptions. If I click subscriptions, it's blank.
Yep.
It's empty.
Everyone go watch YouTube Shorts. It's easier.
Yeah, apparently. Oh, can I stream to short?
You can, but it's horrible.
I have to use it from the phone for right now, don't I? Or is there a way I can get Restream to go to? Can I add YouTube Short on Restream? Thank God you tweet, Blaine. I couldn't have made it. Yeah, it's wild. Apparently, it's all down.
I mean, you probably just could have looked up his channel, though, right?
This is why we have Kick. Yeah, I can turn on Kick.
No, you already have.
I mean, I can turn on everything. It just, I just have it off. Here, look. I can turn on Instagram. And Rumble. No, I don't want to set up. Rumble I have to set up. The other ones I can at least just turn on. I'll do a new twet just to make sure that things are notified out there. Let's see. Repost. Quote it. Subs tab. Here's the link again. And then we'll post that one.
Yes, everyone has the same problem, George. It's a YouTube-wide problem.
Yeah, everyone, even my YouTube is not behaving correctly. I need to get a shock absorber for this, don't I? Can you hear that?
No. You
don't hear any of that?
No.
Okay. It might be too small, too little to make it through the mic, but I can definitely hear the vibrations of I'm just rapidly tapping. Here, I'll turn the mic so you can hear it.
Oh yeah, we can hear that.
So I'm rapidly tapping on the table, and I can hear it echoing through the mic. But if no one else can hear it, then no problems. It's been down since around 9. Oh man, good thing I found Stu's stream before everything went down. Welcome, Stu.
And here I was thinking that us talking about EVs and hydrogen and all that crap was scared all my viewers away.
That is actually why everyone left your stream, because they were already there.
There was 9 people watching at one point, and then all of a sudden I turn around and it's you and me, and it says now StreamYard is wildly inconsistent in how it measures it, but it's just funny. It was 9, and then it was 1.
Oh, you actually saw 1? I saw it go down to 2, and then it started to come back up once you started reading, but I laughed pretty hard. I was like, oops. I even put it in my pocket, but then you would say something, I'm like, damn it, Stu.
Look, Veritex, we don't look a gift horse in the mouth. We want the yen to go down compared to the...
So deal with the value of the Japanese yen falling so much against the US dollar. The biggest issue with the Japanese yen is that there's just not a lot of good production in Japan yet. And they've opened themselves up now to a lot of sort of international stuff. And so what you had was Japan trying to stay isolationist to the point where they gave negative interest rate mortgages to people. So they would literally be paying you, very, very small negative, but they'd be paying you to buy a house. And instead of sort of sticking to that, they were like, well, this isn't working, paying people to do this. They don't want to do it naturally because it's just not a thing that's really in the Japanese lexicon. So rather than sort of look at their issues holistically from a What is the culture that's leading to this and sort of fixing that hikikomori problem and everything. They're now switching tack to let's bring in foreign investment. And so they're opening up. You see all those ads now that are like, you can buy a house for less than $1,000 in Japan. And sure you can. It'll be a mess and it'll cost you thousands to get it up to the point where you want to live in it. But you can indeed buy a house for very cheap in Japan. You can do that. They've got a new
How many
visa.
thousand, though?
How many thousand? It would probably be closer to 40,000. It's going to depend on how much crap is left in the house, because that's one of the most expensive things. Is throwing away stuff in Japan is really expensive, and then just some renovating. Getting it up to more modern amenities, depending on how.
I wonder what
dilapidated the
financing
house
is like buying a house overseas.
It's not bad as long as you go through one of those companies that gives you a guarantor. Pretty standard to what we do here.
Okay.
But unlike here where you mortgage that 40,000, if let's say the house ends up costing you that, over there you would buy the house for like a couple grand. You're not mortgaging that, and then you would be just saving your pennies to keep having to pay for the next sort of fix or whatever it is. And you would need a visa of some kind, so you're getting over there. So they have opened up visas. They have a new one that's a 2-year visa for you can come over with intent to start a business, and as long as you start a domestic business within those 2 years, you're good to go. So I'm like, hell yeah, B&B on its way. I got it. But
yeah, I'm gonna rent out my house.
Exactly, I'll rent the house. That's a domestic business. That helps people who want to not live in the house anyway. So anyway. The problem with that, though. Go ahead.
I was just so I can afford the fly out there.
Yeah.
It's a lot more expensive coming from the East Coast.
Yeah, the flight costs more than some of the houses I've seen. Now they are heaps. I will tell you. Like you're doing a lot of replacement and everything, but yeah, it was wild. What that does though is instead of because the reason a currency becomes more valuable against other currencies is that country creates a higher value of stuff. The reason the dollar is what everything is pegged to is because America has the best IP in the world. Our physical production still really, really good, but we sort of gave that up for people were like, oh, we're a service economy now. Kind of. But what we own is our ideas. We are an idea place where everybody can throw their ideas out, and like if they stick, they make money, and now we have a value that comes from that IP. So we have a growing gross. I don't even want to call it GDP, but like that domestic value that we generate for the world comes from that.
Whereas gross domestic IP.
Yeah, gross domestic IP. If you measure things against GDP, you can kind of see the same idea. How much stuff are we making for every like dollar that, or every person that we have, right? So that's
we
a good.
We still produce a lot still too. We just don't produce like we used to.
Exactly, and we still produce far more than anybody else wants, right? Nobody's out there wanting the oh my gosh.
Chinese keyboards.
Sure, Chinese keyboards. No one wants Chinese keyboards. They all want the American-made keyboard, even though they're buying the American-made keyboard from China. Even like coffee, right? Like, who wants a nice Sumatran coffee or a Brazilian coffee? Everyone. But which Sumatran or Brazilian coffee are you buying? Probably one from the local roaster near you, or a Starbucks, or a Tully's, a Folgers, like some company that's going and buying those things from other countries and then making them more valuable at home. And then that's getting then turned back around to other countries as well. So we're very good at making more from not as much and from other people's stuff. Whereas Japan just doesn't do that. Japan has a very thriving electronics industry, not internet industry. They're like internet stuff still pretty iffy. But as far as electronics go, they're still doing really well. Their vehicles are somewhere, like they're coming back. I think there's a little bit better over there than they used to be. What else do you have in Japan? Obviously, we like their media stuff because that's what our focus is, video games and that kind of thing. So you do see some IP growth there, but it is still fairly limited because at the end of the day, a lot of the aging Japanese population doesn't care as much about that. And so while it does go global, it's not as big for them at home. And so while they're bringing in foreign people and foreign people's currency and that currency is getting converted into the Japanese debt, the Japanese yen. It's increasing the amount of yen that's now out there, because every time somebody comes in and turns their dollars into yen, they're now increasing the amount of yen that there is, and so you have this deflationary effect on the yen, and or I guess we would most look at it like inflationary, like, oh, it's a bad thing, but basically the value of the yen is going down because more people are bringing their yen into the country. And so until that stabilizes, because right now it's a like thriving, like, oh, we can go in for cheap, buy on the cheap, this is the down, get into Japan, like get it while it's low. Once that comes up, you're going to see that yen sort of stabilize, or if they make a different decision about like interest rates or something, then maybe that could change the yen. But for now, the yen is going to sit at, I mean, the highest I've seen, I think, is like 70 yen to a dollar, which is still not great. But I could see them sitting at 80 yen to a dollar. A decade ago, it was 100 yen to a dollar. So it's sitting way low right now, like 65 yen to a dollar.
Hasn't their economy historically been highly volatile?
I mean, they've been highly volatile, so yeah, it does sort of match that. But as far as I think what you're referring to there is how they come out of World War II, we show up and we're like, hey, you guys gonna fix this, and they fix it, and then it leads to insane economic growth and all this prosperity. But the problem with that golden bubble, the way they call it, is you had this huge boom of all these electronics companies. Japan's the future. Japan's doing all this crazy stuff. And it just created this huge disconnect between the people who like had all of that stuff and were making all that money, and the people that were out in the farms making food. And so you had wildly divergent things. And so everybody out in the farms making food, all their people or all their kids wanted to go into Tokyo and make the money of the electronics people. And so it wildly disproportioned everything and led to their bubble bursting at the 80s? They've had a couple bubbles burst, but I think it was the 80s bubble burst, late 90s bubble burst, where it was 80s, because then the 90s was the lost generation, where people grew up in like they didn't have all that stuff they were hoping for. And so ever since then, it's been in that sort of depressed state. So even when the yen does look good against other currencies, the country's economy has still not been doing good at my entire life, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to say it hasn't been doing well, really, maybe longer than that. 40, 50 years maybe.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, if you look back, you're like, well, no, duh. Like, you took a country that was run by a shogun, then run by an emperor. America says, open your doors to trade. They start trading with the outside world, and then they sort of seclude themselves up again, get really imperial, start attacking all their neighbors, running like all of that area, and then after a war getting sent back to their island, where they have to kind of restart, and they're going to restart with this all new idea of American democracy with, they've modified it, they have their diet and everything, but you're like, oh, I bet that went really well at first until some people found like the problems or the loopholes or the ways to like exploit the system, and then of course it bursts, and now you're trying to like figure out how to make it. It's like 50 years, right? 60 years of like trying to run this country, basically, that's been run one way for the last 2,000 years. So
yeah, well, it's just like America for the beginning part wasn't really an economic powerhouse or a military powerhouse. It was mostly a backwater until basically the Industrial Revolution, and really World War II is
the
when
World Wars really was the what at least my history books made it sound like our turnaround went.
When
the World Wars, when like America went from being like, we exist out here and we're fighting for our like existence, to, all right, world, we're running the place.
The war machine showed basically not just the rest of the world, but also ourselves, how much we could produce and provide.
Oh, for sure.
Has Japan ever thought about exporting its racism?
You never give away the best gold in the vault, okay? You always save that for last.
That's home cooking.
Yeah, we're building the day, Andrew. I need your help. As far as anime goes, I finished Chain Soldier. Definitely a solid ending. Like, it actually has a good climax, a good resolution that also does the classic good anime thing of like, yeah, but there's a bigger story here, and we get some good hints to what that bigger story is going to be. I would say at least worth watching that first season and switching to the manga. After what Serrano showed me, it's like, yeah, the manga definitely looks better. I would agree with that every single time. But the first season is, if you watch it and you're like, yeah, okay, I got this. I would say you're in for a treat for sure. It's all bad this season. Wait, what's all bad this season?
All the shows you've talked about liking are all bad this season.
What?
It's really funny, actually.
All the shows I've talked about liking?
No, that Andrew Clark talked about liking.
Oh,
He
okay,
hyped up Remonster and one other show, and they were both. Well, Remonster has like been skipping so much content that it's just like a terrible adaptation by itself. It also looks terrible.
Isn't
but then
it
the other
great
shows
though? Like, I gotta take that sappy minute though to say we have so much anime that I can watch the most objectively boring from an anime standpoint show in High Speed Étoile and think it's amazing because of how real it makes the racing feel.
I hate you, Blaine.
I hate you too,
these
buddy.
shows don't do that.
And then we also have like Bartender. Bartender's doing fantastic. Anyway.
Oh, Veritex getting a new house.
Yeah, I think Andrew Clark needs to find new anime taste. I think his problem is his taste.
To be fair,
taste?
One of them was decent before.
One of them was decent.
I mean, I would never go into someone's house and tell them to stop eating baba ganoush, you know, just because I'm not a huge fan of it.
I remember when he was telling us the
him.
first episode of Remonster was good and he watched it twice. I remember.
He doesn't even like him. Look at him. He's like, I couldn't get past the cringe.
Couldn't get past the cringe? And wait, which one?
Both
Probably
of
the
them.
newer one. Probably the
Newgate was worse though.
Yeah, Newgate was.
Healing Magic's been good so far, though I'm waiting for the part where it's the wrong way to use it.
So oh yeah, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. It's in
there.
there.
Does he ever get wrong?
He does. They literally use that line in the show.
Oh, okay.
The racing one. Oh, you couldn't get past the cringe in the racing one? Oh, interesting. I again, watching the racing one, I felt like I was watching F1, NASCAR, figure eights, like name the racing series on TV. That's what it felt like, because there's just times where you're watching and cars are just going fast by the camera and you're like, wow. But the fact that they had like a stuck rule set, they had a cool little boost system that made sense. The fact that they're going in those pit stops, you know, and they're like timing out when they go in, they stay out, that kind of thing. Everything with the announcers and all of that just was like, okay, I'm in it. I'm here.
Did they have an annoying Japanese guy going boogity 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 when they drove by?
Almost. It's a VTuber now that goes, ooh. Lasts about 60 seconds. Yeah, I'm surprised if anybody makes it past the first minute of the High Speed Étoile. You are a fan of racecraft and not of anime. The bicycle one, you think everyone's a clone? Is it better than Redline?
The bicycle
no, Redline's great. The bicycle
you shouldn't
one?
compare it to Redline. That's a bad
idea.
idea.
Yeah, where do you find the bicycle one? Renkai.
You can compare anything to anything. Ding dong.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Why? I can compare a hot dog.
You can compare things that are wildly different and say, yeah, these aren't really close to similar at all.
That's still a comparison.
I just don't think it's useful.
Oh, I don't think you're useful.
Yeah.
I have anime to talk about. What anime do you want me to talk about? I don't
want you to talk about anime. I want you to shut your mouth and listen to my story.
Look at this asshole.
I watched Astro
allow me to minimize you.
I'm gonna go cuckold. Look at that name.
Astronaut is a fun design. I don't know if it's like that enjoyable of a series for me to like keep watching it. But it is definitely like, oh, this is this is silly. I could see someone enjoying this one, but I can see this one being like never somebody's top.
You should change it to. You should update it.
Update it?
Yeah, it says planning still.
Oh, it's because I opened these. What I do is I open them right before I hit the plus button.
Hmm.
Oh, it doesn't actually set it as watching. Because it
Alex,
does say
you
one
shut
on
up.
progress.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So Astronaut, Astronaut fun. If you like classic anime, little like Love Hina-esque, that sort of ensemble cast of weirdos, with some sort of main driving elements in the background, you're there. Everyone is obviously different and unique. It's a goofy one. Probably gonna end up watching more of this just because of friends. Not even waifu, just friends who want to watch it. So we'll see how I do. Here for the derailments. The many sides of voice actor radio. I love that she's a Gyaru. Let's get that off the bat immediately. I'm interested to see their sort of like back and forth. Overall, the idea of them being like very different off screen, and like it is a little weird because like you look at the photo of the one girl as like a voice actor, and then you look at her in school, and you're like, how does nobody else get this? Like, it's not even Clark Kent levels. Like, it's just a different hairband, and you're like, how does no one else know it's you? It's a little wild. This is definitely gonna be a drop because it's just gonna fall away unless they run into some sort of real issue to have to overcome together. Maybe I don't know how you'd make this one more exciting for me, but I could see someone really just liking the idea of these characters. So
I like the idea.
Yeah, voice actors and people who think these girls are cute are gonna love this show. Main girl looks like prime waifu material for Astronaut, in all but her cooking prowess that is non-existent. Finally watched The Mysterious Disappearances. This was good. This was really good. I love everything about this, and I had this really funny like moment. Did anybody else watch Occultic 9? Let me pull this one up.
No.
Occultic 9. Here, this is the. So here's just a shot of like the anime of Occultic 9. And maybe you noticed something there. But here's a shot of the game cover of Occultic 9.
Yeah.
So the second we start and it's like weird mystery occultic stuff and she has some actual udders, I was like, what is it with Japan
Human size
and like mysterious occult that's going to the other world and like there's magic and curses? Gotta have these giant uncanny yabos. Cause in like I get that like oh, big boobs, sexy. But the way this show draws them, as well as Occultic 9, is not like, hey, look at this sexy big boob. It's like, this person has back problems. Like, that's how they draw the tits. And you're like, why? They're just giant sacks. And you're like, whoa.
Huge.
But also, I'm not like... They're not like up front in the way that I'm supposed to be like excited about it. It's not a fan service. They just are huge.
Well, I mean, there was fan.
It's different in the manga.
Oh, there is fan service for sure,
dude,
but they are just
wild.
Giant boobs. They're not like big anime titties, you know. You're like, I have a taco. At least you can build some gun. It's not a fetish. Anyway, the other character, this little boy, who is, trying to do the solving of the mystery, as well as some of the other little imagery that we get around the excesses beyond just the curse that we're handling in this first episode, really put this in a. I'm gonna be sticking with this one for a while. Excited! It's not another high school teen. Finally, some adults. Yep, some real adults and children.
I mean, hey, he's like some monster or something, so he doesn't count as.
He doesn't count. Yeah, he doesn't count. He's an entity.
I don't know if that's true.
The little boy is definitely
He's
an
not.
entity.
He's not 16 years old.
There's
I can
I'm
no
tell you
talking
way
that.
about
he's just.
jellyfish can't swim in the night. I'm pretty sure
These
they
are all.
can.
Well, these are
Oh.
largely children. Yeah.
Yeah. But on the other side of that, we have actual kids trying to like figure out what they want to do with life. I don't. Let me hold on. What is the? Let me search out the actual name here, the native name, because the idea is that jellyfish can't swim on their own. They kind of go with the current. Let me see.
At night.
Translate.
Who swims for them?
Photosynthesis.
Jellyfish training wheels.
No, yeah,
Jellyfish
literally is-
floaties.
Can't swim at night. Oil gunai.
Or 30 minutes after they eat.
They're always eating though. They're
Might
filter
get a
feeders
cramp.
largely.
Your mom's always.
You
eating.
don't get a cramp from eating. That's such a lie.
Pretty sure that's true.
No.
I
Yeah,
have never gotten the
Michael,
cramp
you
from
just
eating.
get fatter.
Yeah, because
No, I'm just.
that was
I'm
the
just
thing,
built
right?
different.
I took like swimming lessons and everything. It was like, oh, you got to make sure you don't eat 30 minutes before. But then like every summer, we'd be out at the hydro races, we'd be elsewhere, and I mean, we're eating funnel cakes and turkey legs and all of the worst fair food you can, and then just jumping in the lake. And I've never had like I got a cramp, I'm gonna drown. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like maybe there's like a type of food you eat or a way that your body metabolizes poorly, but like
Taco Bell.
I don't know.
I would assume the actual thing is like getting a stomach ache or something from bad food.
maybe like the food is actually bad and that's what the thing comes from, but
Or
it
maybe
is
it's just like
weirdly
you're eating it too
ubiquitous.
fast and you get a lot of air in your stomach.
Well, then you won't sink because you got all that air in your tum tum.
You never have enough.
I know what
Wow.
Stu's fetish is. Okay.
More air tums.
Maybe your mom.
So jellyfish can't swim in the night if they keep moving towards like big goal, big idea. Because part of this first episode was our main girl kind of like giving up on what she wants to do, and then is she gonna stay giving up on that, or is she gonna actually pursue something she wants to do, even though she gave up on it a long time ago, and that character type annoys me. But the other character, the blonde one, is a lot more like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be the best. I'm putting stuff out. I just have to do. I have to do. Like I have to go. I have to do. And so, if we sort of give our secondary character that sort of mentality, and some of these other characters that show up also sort of fall in with that, we could have fun. But if they all four drop into like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, then I'm gonna end up dropping it. Otherwise, I'm okay with this one.
Well, I feel like they are gonna figure out what they're gonna do because they're gonna come together and they're gonna do music stuff. Probably that's what it seems like it's gonna be happening.
Yay!
They're all gonna rally around that.
I watched.
Wow, anime Glee, big deal.
I watched Brand New in concert twice, and both times, while they're playing their set, there's a guy on the side just painting the entire time. And by the time he's done, he finishes a painting, and then they sell it off for whatever. But that was always like a really cool part of their shows, was just like, what's going to come out of this. So if they do some sort of musical and painter combo, I'm in. I love that whole setup. I thought that was a blast.
That'd be pretty cool to see too.
Kaiju number 8.
The best show of the season.
Cleanup crew show. Big monsters. Children who made promises to each other that they're having trouble keeping. Kaiju. This is great. This is fantastic. The little twist bit at the end, you'll see coming immediately, and you're gonna love as soon as it shows up. Like it's one of those that does it well, does it right, does it at the exact moment that it needs to happen, and this is gonna be a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
Can't you see most anime plot twists coming like a mile off?
I would say that any twist can be seen coming. And that's in the idea that when a twist happens, you should not be such a twist that you're like, that doesn't make sense. Like, you should see the twist and go, oh, that's why X, Y, and Z. In this instance, part of what you see coming with the twist is more of a typing as opposed to a method. So you might be surprised by the method at which the twist occurs, but all of the lead up and intro of the show is like, oh, somehow this has to happen. So how is it going to happen? And if you watch the show, you quite quickly figure out how it's going to happen. But it's still very, very fun.
Is this recommended for me?
Yes.
Yes, everybody.
Yeah, in 2 weeks' time when they start English dubbing the first episode or whatever.
It's funny. Oftentimes I would say, it's like, oh yeah, of course that's the story they're going to tell. It's like, that's what makes sense for Psych. But you could really take this setting and do whatever you want with it. There's a lot of cool stuff you could do here. You focus on him doing just like, he could just be a background character that could actually be a show on its own. Like having a main guy just be the cleanup guy.
Yep.
That would be fun.
Michael, is it almost as good as Jujutsu Kaisen?
It's significantly better, actually.
Doubtful. Only Bleach is better.
The action looks really nice. I like it. I liked everything about the first episode.
You thought Blaine didn't want Kaiju 8 to be funny.
Could you check how many episodes this is?
Right now it says 12 episodes.
Okay, cool.
I don't know that it is funny. Like, our main character seems very like optimistic, and he has like a level of joy to him, but I don't remember anything in the episode that I was like, oh, that was a funny joke, or that joke didn't land, or haha, that's silly. It felt like everything was played very, very straight from all sides.
Yeah, definitely not comedy focused from what I remember. It was mostly just about the action, like it showed off the relationship between main dude
I probably
and other
said
girl.
that, and if I did say that, then so far so good, because it's definitely not funny.
Not just that, but also new guy.
He's super serial.
Yeah, I like having us throw in a new guy here. Like, that's where our story starts, is when we get this new guy coming in. He's going to be his friend that probably like sticks with him for like the whole show, or at least most of it.
You can see he's on the cover.
Yeah.
And it's a good kind of new guy too, where it's like, here's the new guy that shows the old guy what he was when he started, like all bright-eyed with hope and vigor.
Like, I think this author just does a really good job building off of basic story tropes. It's like, he uses tropes that are good for good reason and uses them well.
Yeah, and I think it's an idea that's been played out in enough other things of like, what happens when the monster dies, that we don't really question, when did the monster cleanup crew get established? It's like, well, no, duh, they need a cleanup crew. These things are huge.
Yeah.
I also like how, like, every time you see the monster carcass, it's somehow bigger. You're like, what? Like it's
Where did
not
all
like
this
it's
come
growing,
from?
but like every time they cut to it, you're like, oh, that's like blocks. Oh, that's like huge. Oh, that's like, like every time you look at it again, you're like, damn, that thing's big.
Like you see
Just
it in
like
the
when the
river,
Stay
and you're like,
Puft
oh, it can't be
Marshmallow
that
Man
big.
exploded.
Shit.
Exactly.
I say that thing is putting on more weight than Nikado avocado.
Oh no. Watch out.
Avocados from Serrano's house.
It's coming straight from the mukbang.
Straight from the underground.
Straight from the underground. So that was the anime I watched. Frost, what did you watch?
I watched the second episode of Unnamed Memory today, and they had an actual, honest to God, action scene that I wasn't expecting. I was like, huh, that's kind of interesting. So yeah, the witch comes, or I didn't tell you about the first episode, really, did I?
You did.
She comes.
She's gonna come. But yeah, basically the first episode of Unnamed Memory is this dude has been cursed by a witch, so he's looking for another witch to undo the curse. He climbs a tower.
Sounds familiar.
He climbs a tower to beat this witch's trials. He does do it, and his companion is incredibly annoying along the way, and he does show up in episode 2, which irks me to no end.
Like Michael
Did you see Windbreaker episode 2? Because it's kind of like that guy.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that afterwards. Yeah, he gets to the top of the tower. He's like, okay, so basically what happens, I got cursed. How can you undo this? He's like, you know, I can't really do this. You got blessed with something that's unhelpful to you. It's super sperm that kills people. I do remember.
Oh, that's
talking about this
right.
now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So she's like, I can't really undo it, but you know, we could look for somebody who has strong enough magical capabilities to bear a child for you. He's like, that's it. You're gonna be the one.
That'll
And he-
withstand super sperm.
And he
Got
says, "Hey, you come to my kingdom for a year, and I'm gonna try to swoon you, and make you marry me." And she's like, "I'll agree to that." And one joke I did like from the first episode was she said, "If I just said yes to every man who proposed to me, I would be your grandmother,"
Mm,
Oh, so
which
she's
is
old.
true. Yeah, hundreds of years old. I think she's over 800 years old or something. I don't remember what it was. They said it was. But yeah, she's very old. Looks just like a young girl. She accompanies him, goes back. She wanders around the
She
palace.
looks like a young
learns-
woman.
Yeah, close
Okay.
enough. Same
Get outta
thing.
here.
But yeah, she goes back to the palace.
At
We
least
spend the
25.
episode mostly learning about, or having her interact with palace people and stuff, and just learn more about his kingdom. Blah blah blah. And the second half of the episode, we have her go on a quest to stop, I think it was mages from another kingdom from reviving like some evil demon or whatever. That's basically what's happening. So that's where we get our action scene. She fights a giant wolf thing, and it was pretty solid. I wouldn't say it was exceptional or anything, but it's better than a lot of other shows have done this season.
Nice.
Yeah, there's definitely some animators who did care about it and wanted to deliver a good action scene, and I enjoyed it. Overall, though, there are aspects
It
I
is
like.
animated though, because like
Yes.
from
Oh,
those posters when we first were looking at them, it looks so CG'd.
Yeah, it's like actual animation. Of course, it's like 3D camera work, but it still
Yeah.
looks pretty. Yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend it. I do like the main character. There could be some fun stuff there. The witch isn't a bad character at all, but I just didn't find it that engaging. I didn't really attach the characters too much. I think it does waste some time. Just like it feels like it goes a little bit too slow and puts more time on characters that I don't care about at all, especially like the really annoying side character. Even though he only has like 2 lines in the second episode, the fact that he showed up annoyed me.
Andrew
Yeah, I
Clark
think
is
it's
hyped
better
up for
for
Monster.
Yeah, Remonster episode 3, MC Beds all the waifus. Yeah, that does happen. Did we want to talk about which ones you mentioned that we want to talk about next, Michael?
Windbreaker season 2 or episode
Oh yeah,
2?
Windbreaker episode 2. It had the annoying character problem where the guy that shows up in the next one is extremely annoying. I hate his guts.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have another enrollee at the whatever school the Windbreaker dude's going to. I forgot what they called it exactly. But yeah,
Windbreaker school.
the Windbreakers. He goes to the Windbreaker school for talented youngsters. But he's kind of a wimp. He is not good at fighting at all, unlike our main character who is OG or OPOP at fighting. He's very good. Yeah, I could easily see myself growing on the main character. He has the pretty basic, I want to fight everything. I want to be strong. And I hate the world. Everybody hates me. Everybody's scared of me because I'm strong.
But
I
I
can see
like that
myself-
it's like
yeah.
immediately
Yeah, it seems like
Mhm.
we're going to grow from
dismembered.
that. So that's not really a problem for me. But the second guy we have show up, he seems like he's just going to be a baby the whole time. Just kind of whiny. And does stupid stuff and is goofy. And it's like, I just don't like side characters like that. It really annoys me to see them.
Little whiny baby guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
it's just like they're there and they comment on stuff. They don't do anything, blah, 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 blah. And it just takes up so much time in the episode when I wish we could do anything else. So I'm probably just going to drop Windbreaker if he's going to be like our protagonist's best friend. And he's just like sitting around in all these episodes. I don't think I'm going to put up with that. I might just drop it here because that's how much I didn't like it. Because on top of that, we didn't have any action in episode 2. There was no action scene in Windbreaker episode 2 at
No
all.
fight. Oh no.
There wasn't anything. They had an opportunity for a fight when our main character saves the scrawny sidekick. Then he just skip it. They're like, okay, so they're gonna do a fight later at the end of the episode. And in the third episode, it looks like there's gonna be a fight because he's gonna be like fighting an upperclassman or something. He kind of like was a jerk and pissed him off. Whatever.
Mhm. Yeah,
One
it's
of
on
the
a
two.
cliffhanger.
And it's on a cliffhanger. So they skipped the one fight they could have had so they could have a cliffhanger instead.
Gotcha.
I hate it when shows do that. There's so many things in episode 2 I just didn't like. It just kept constantly gnawing on me. So Windbreaker episode 2, trash can, didn't like it. Might be fun after that. I don't know. I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
Remonster's animation is awful. It is so bad. Remonster's
Dog
animation
shit.
just looks garbage, man. It looks garbage.
It got worse.
Garbage.
It's
got
like it
worse
didn't
as
even
you wanna
it didn't even
focus
start out.
slowly.
It didn't start out good, but it just never got better. It's like it's so poorly done.
Well, they put all their budget into the sex scenes for these last this last episode.
They've been working hard on those.
Also, there's the content from Remonster. They just they moved stuff around a little bit, but also cut out. I think I mostly mentioned it when you talked about episode 1. A lot of stuff that I did, or when I was talking about the manga after watching episode 1. There was stuff I liked in the manga that they cut out specifically that made it better. When we're skipping scenes about learning about some of his powers, even just a little bit, it takes away from the connection I have with our main character, and it makes the show less enjoyable to me.
Yeah, like you probably had a dozen scenes in the new episode where they're just showing off he killed this monster, he ate this monster, next scene.
They don't even mention the skills half the time, and he just has new stuff pop up.
Mm-hmm. And then there was that the miscoloring of that character you were talking about.
Oh
If you
yeah,
have
they
the
changed.
notes.
They race swapped character. They race swapped a mini golem creature.
Race swap, like
She
mid-show,
she was dark skinned before, but now she is lighter toned than the goblins. They turned her cream color or something, right?
like a Rimuru transformation where he gives someone powers and suddenly they're humanoid, or a different.
No,
it's
they
just the
aren't
skin
same.
tone. They just changed her skin tone.
Oh, hilarious!
It was dark gray or something in the manga. Maybe it was purple. I don't know. It's hard to tell sometimes. But yeah, she was dark toned in the manga, and now she's light toned in the anime, which
That's
is pretty
kinda
funny.
though.
Do
Yeah.
they show up again, or are they just?
No, she dies. She's gone.
Oh, she
Her
dead.
species, her carbuncle species, she just doesn't appear again. She's gone.
Mhm.
Carbuncle, Arnunkled.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't like Remonster. I like the manga. Okay, I would say you can check out the manga if the premise is interesting. I do think the manga doesn't really do a good job on the action either. The manga action isn't really good, but it does get better artwork later, so that is something to look forward to. The show's artwork isn't going to get better. I can basically guarantee that it's not going to get better
Mhm.
because it never does.
Why would it suddenly get better after episode 3? That never happened.
It doesn't make sense. So yeah, Remonster would not recommend. Maybe check out the manga if it sounds cool. That's it. Doing Mahjong stuff, but yeah. Other one, Newgate. Newgate is SAO but worse. SAO but terrible. SAO but ugly. It's all of those things. SAO.
What's wrong with SAO?
There's
Other
Oh,
than
SAO is actually okay. I think SAO is okay.
It gets
For
better.
starting
Looking back, it
for
had a
starting
lot of
anime.
good action scenes.
Yeah. We specifically looked back to compare to Newgate. Let me see if I can bring up the GIF I got of Newgate.
Hmm.
It was kind of funny.
Here, bring it up. I'll click it, and then I gotta go find some containers. I think I need.
Okay, I
3.
should be able to just do this little window
Andrew,
here.
how many containers do I need to separate switches? 3,
Okay,
and then a
here we
baggie
go.
for the springs, or more?
More.
This is just something that happens. I didn't bother saving the rest of it, but what happened there? It's still sharing weird. I have to click stop sharing specifically. But what happened is he was fighting some undead creature or whatever. He hit it. He just kind of slashed behind it. He just appeared behind the creature after attacking. And then the sword was just gone. And then the next scene, you see the sword just flying in the air. It's just woo!
Hmm.
I just really didn't understand what we were doing. I just kind of dipped out.
They were setting up.
They're setting stuff up, man. They're setting stuff up.
They were setting up the next episode clearly. Hmm.
Yes, Newgate
Okay.
doesn't have a gimmick for me to stay past 3 episodes,
What about Tombo? Talk about Tombo.
Tombo is pretty basic. There isn't too much to Tombo. Guy goes to island for work. He's basically a disgraced ex-golfer. I don't remember. They haven't said what happened in his past, but basically he doesn't play golf anymore. He got kicked out of his club that he liked attending. And now he's on this deserted or remote island in Japan. And now he's just kind of stuck here. And he runs into this girl who is practiced with only a 3-iron because that was the one club her dad left for before he died on a boating accident, I believe. I don't remember, actually.
Yeah, both her parents died on boating accident.
Yeah, something happened to them. They died immediately, and they left the 3. I think they were both golfers, actually. They're
Yep.
both golfers. Yeah, they're both golfers.
Both.
And her dad... Yeah, both.
Both.
Both?
Both.
Both.
Both?
Both.
Both of D.
Yeah, her parents left
Both of D's.
her dad's
Both of
3-iron with her because he didn't want to use the 3-iron because he just didn't like it. I think that kind of makes sense. Some people will just leave golf clubs behind if they don't like them.
Well, no one uses a 3-iron.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, she does. She only uses 3-iron, and she doesn't want to use any other club because it was
Actually,
her
I
dad's.
will occasionally.
Wait, when do you
I'm
break
also
out a 3-iron?
terrible at golf too. So
Oh, okay. I was like, there's no world where I'd grab a 3-iron over like a hybrid or a fairway wood. I don't know what that.
Oh no,
scenario
I hate fairway woods.
Oh, I see.
So what are
Still.
the? Oh yeah, I unlocked the moon, so I can play for money now. Technically, I can play for coins in the mahjong.
You unlock the moon?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm not
It's
good
like first dawn. Yeah, that's what it is.
I'm not good with drivers or woods, but I'm
It is a
actually
different
pretty
swing, for
decent
sure.
on the fairway. Once I get on the fairway, I'm pretty good getting to the green.
Why do you have a problem like with your first shot?
You ever swung a driver in your life?
No, I actually
Me?
haven't.
It's a wildly different swing from a club or a putt or anything else. And it's not quite a baseball swing. And if you do swing like baseball, there's a bunch of stuff I can teach you to make you hit it straight, but you're not supposed to hit it that way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The only reason I know is because my cousin was like a baseball coach in college or for college. And his swing is wild when I watch it, but I've figured out what he does to make a baseball swing work for a driver, and I can teach other people, but usually it's like my sister did softball, so it helped her, but you're not supposed to swing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, guy I play softball with, he's got a friend whose little brother was like scholarship level baseball player, and he wanted
nice.
to pick up golf. He goes, "You're gonna start hitting the golf ball left-handed because I'm not screwing up your baseball swing for you to learn this."
That's fair, honestly. If you're actually trying to play, baseball,
Like, I'm not
yeah,
gonna mess up
that
any
could
of your
mess you
muscle
up.
memory trying to learn how to hit this thing.
Yep.
Because it's the driver, right? Because then after you get to the driver, that is a completely different swing with the from a once you get to
The woods
irons.
and everything, yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
like swinging.
they actually do go quite a bit into golf stuff. They talk about it as like, oh, this is like you can't get that shot out of the rough, and it's like it's better to just place it back on the course because you're gonna not go very far. Blah blah blah. They have so many different little golf things to talk about. I don't know anything about golf, but it was pretty interesting to listen to it. I think they do a good job describing it and going through step by step, just one thing at a
expensive
time.
and frustrating. That's golf.
Yeah. They just go through one little thing at a time. It's like, okay, this aspect of golf, this aspect of golf, this is how hitting the ball works, this is how it curves, here's the other thing, blah, 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 blah. They have a lot of different things. And it was enjoyable. I did like it. I'm just not as interested in sports, so I do put it a little bit lower.
It's one of those things where if you're bad at it and the people you're with are good at it, it's even more frustrating.
Oh, I could
But if
see
you're all bad at it, then it's like a great time.
that.
Oh, it's great. It's an absolute disaster, but it's one you enjoy.
How the hell are these things? How does this takeaway?
I played disc golf before because they're cheaper.
Disc golf is pretty fun.
Yeah, disc golf can be fun for
I was
sure.
gonna say disc golf every time you throw it. Golf then gun range? Dang, that sounds like my 22 years old self.
That sounds like a good weekend for some people.
Switch disassemble tool. How tool work? Open it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Here's the opener thing.
I think the characters in Tomboy are nice. I think this could be a pretty enjoyable series for some people. Give it a shot and you can see how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Mini golf your tiger ones.
Train to the End of the World is still fun.
Yep. The last one was oh yeah. I forgot I got to level 5, so I can awaken now. I thought I had to get to like another level to hit the awaken.
No,
Nice.
as long as you got the goods, you can hit it, right?
Yeah. There we go.
How do I do
I was
this
worried
one?
that I was gonna have to have like another 5,000 XP after level 5. I was like, Jesus.
Here we go. All right, how do I use this tool? It's supposed to be the easy button. So far, I don't even see how I'm supposed to put this stupid switch into the thing. Load, you dinger! Why, internet?
Hmm.
How do I know which side to even use? And which side it goes on?
Let's see. What were
Man,
my
I really
last
signed
update
up for this
shows?
without
Was
looking
there
at
anything else I
anything.
wanted to talk about?
Okay.
Oh yeah, Whisper Me a Love Song was the rimming of lesbianism.
Hmm.
Oh.
The stupidest lesbian you've ever seen that doesn't know she's a lesbian. That's just how it is. That's what Whisper Me a Love Song is. Our main character is... Was she a freshman? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
pretty much.
Yeah, I think she was a freshman. She gets into school, sees like the opening ceremony. One of her friends... The friend of her friend's sister. It's like a... We actually, me and Mike debated, is like, is this 2 degrees separation or 3? I said it was probably like 2 because we're gonna skip the first one.
I
Like
think
the
it needs
first
to
one,
be 3.
like the first degree is like literally your friend, so I just might as well skip that. That's why I say that.
Yeah,
Got it.
so it's the friend's sister's
Friend.
friend. So
They're
that's
in band
3.
together.
Yeah.
They're in band. She sees her on stage and she falls in love at first sight. But she doesn't fall in love with her. She falls in love with her voice.
Of course. So there is music involved with this.
Yep, this is music focused.
It's always
too.
music focused.
Well, but sometimes it's like music focused, but like they never actually do any music stuff. It's just like, oh, I was in a band, and then they'll like play the ending theme or something like that.
Oh, you mean
know?
like you mean like the Mahjong anime from last season?
Oh yeah. Like how it's about mahjong without being about mahjong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like music's probably gonna show up here more than mahjong. They're probably gonna do more singing stuff than they will have, because I feel like people deride mahjong more. There's more people who don't care about mahjong at all.
Yeah,
Right.
it was the name of the show.
Yeah,
It'd be weird to be in that show or like watching that show and not be interested in like how it works.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
never.
don't understand how you could get
It
past
does. It
episode
feels
3.
weird the fact that they would just like not focus on mahjong so much. That it was so strange. I still thought it was okay, but it's like it's so weird.
Yeah.
Like there's like, are there other shows that are like, oh, this is a show about this, and they just don't do it?
Probably.
Bartender, they're like, oh, it's a show about bartending, and they bartend, and you're like, okay, cool.
Well, there's Windbreaker. That's a show about fighting, and then they just don't.
I mean, that's just like 2 episodes. Like, come on.
At least they did fight though. They started off strong, so I'll give them a little bit to come back to it. But I will wait until I can binge 2 and 3 now.
Yeah, don't watch episode 2. You could just just skip episode 2 entirely. Actually, skip episode 2.
Fight Ixer. Man, I don't remember tentacles in Fight Ixer.
Episode 2 Windbreaker is completely worthless. I don't think it actually adds anything.
Watch that be where the main boss twist comes from. Is that specifically something that happens in episode 2?
It won't.
So, something with the little shopkeeper lady, something she said, it like sets it up.
Yep.
Like,
something.
okay, that'll only set up the new fight in the next episode.
Well, I don't think she was even associated with that. I think it's all just him going to class.
Yeah, that's why
think
that class
yeah.
is the only thing that it set up.
Yeah, and that doesn't even matter because they're going to recap in the next episode.
True.
Yeah, Hikaru no Go is about Go, and they do Go. Yeah, that's what I would expect, but there's just so many shows where it's not what happens that, you're just like, why?
Yeah, why you didn't even want to make this, did you?
Yeah, why was you were like, oh, I'll make a. It's not even like it's an interesting enough thing where you're like, oh, the subject matter is what got them the okay from a producer. You're just like, why? Why?
Also, it's not like this is a Mahjong Soul anime that like wants to do other things with its characters. This is a unlicensed, or it's like not tied to a game. This isn't like a commercial product that it's trying to
Right.
bolster.
Long day tits. How many calves have you ripped out of their mother's womb at this point? Falling asleep during streams. I mean, There's a
Spice of
guy.
Wolf.
There's a guy who
Spice of
needs
Wolf
his
is really
truck.
good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Spice of Wolf just builds on each episode and just makes it better.
But what if I want to skip to episode 5?
No, you don't deserve anime if you want to skip up to episode 5.
Just skip it straight to 5. That'd be wild.
Yeah, it's really
There's
hard
lot of
to.
anime this week.
162. Gee, is that just this season or is that like this year? Or is that? Oh, that's something I actually don't know. Is it calving like people say like, oh, it's calving season? Like, do they literally just have like calves during like one part of the year, or will you just randomly have new calves that show up?
Well, they probably like breed them at a certain time.
Yeah, but if you've ever been around animals, sometimes you can't stop it.
I mean, you can stop it though.
By
When you
castrating.
separate the male, yeah, or you could just separate the males.
There's a
from females,
great
right?
your mom joke just hovering
Yep,
out here.
the giant heifers in the field. Yeah, I have seen farms where they keep bulls separated, and I have seen bulls break gates to go have their way with the cows. So
Yeah, you never watched Jurassic Park, Michael?
nature.
These are
finds a way.
cows.
What do you mean these are cows? Have you seen a
Do
cow?
you know how much a cow weighs? Ask your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
But
you breed them in
seriously.
October.
Cows are the size of like Serrano's car.
Yes.
Oh no.
They break loose sometimes.
You ever been to like the like a state fair or something, Michael, where they have like the dairy cows and stuff?
Have you ever been outside?
Because it's like one of those.
Yeah,
Well, it's one of those things, right? Where like when you go to a fair, like we have one fair where you go and all the cows are like maybe 4.5 feet tall. These little tiny guys that if you live like you've got a few acres and you're about 20 minutes from the city, you're like, oh, I want cows. It's like that's the breed you get. But then you have these other state fairs where they have like the milkers, and you're like, dang, this thing's the size of a car. Like they're huge creatures. Cows are like
I
5
could definitely
Lizzos.
beat a cow in a fight. Well, it only weighs a lot. You just have to not get under it then. That's done.
No, you just gotta control the head. Then it's donezo.
Yeah, you get on top of the cow. You see, that's how you defeat it because it weighs a lot. You just want.
It doesn't have thumbs. It's donezo.
Yeah, it literally doesn't even have
Autism
fingers. It
loves
just
money.
has hooves. It can't fight you.
Man,
Like, what's it gonna do?
wonder why we country folk think city people are retarded.
It's wild, man. I'm here.
It's probably because you
Some
drinking all
people
the
are like
gas
politically
fumes.
centrist. I feel like I'm rural centrist because like I love city life. I think that's a blast. But I also will go to my uncle's and like help like kill a chicken. Like he doesn't even have that big of cows, but like his donkeys, like those things are massive creatures.
Yeah, those also don't.
Livestock in general are work. It's
Oh,
work.
for
I would
sure.
say on the hierarchy, chickens are the easiest.
Yeah, definitely.
I think people with chickens are more often lazy than chickens are
Mhm.
actually the easiest. I don't know. Maybe they are the easiest, but I feel like a lot of people get chickens, don't do anything, and then end up with like either a coop full of carcasses and a happy fox, or just rats everywhere.
Well,
and-
No, I mean you have to be prepared to take losses with chickens.
And unless you have a
horrible killing
very
chickens.
small amount of livestock, the chickens just have less food. They just eat less.
Take up
They
less
just-
space.
Well, they're not as troublesome. Like if you raise sheep or goats or horses,
You need
or
land
yeah,
for that.
cows,
Yeah, you can kind of
pigs.
hand feed chickens.
they do a lot more mischief when they're loose, right? Chickens, you can just let them loose, and they will roost on their own. If you lose one, it's not that big of a deal. Like a lot of times,
It
you
is
go
a
to
little
buy-
annoying for your neighbor though to always be like spraying chicken shit off their driveway. As the neighbor who had to spray chicken shit off
You
his
know the
driveway all the
worst.
time, I was like, "Would you build
Have you ever
a
seen
fence?"
guineas? Have you ever seen guineas?
Are they the really giant ones with the tails, or are they?
No, they're the very ugly one. They look like
With the
like
pomp-
somebody put a chicken
pompous-
head onto a belt sander.
Okay, yeah, I'll pull that up.
But,
I gotta see this thing. Fresh eggs is fantastic. Oh my gosh, the getting a dozen eggs is always worth helping out at my my uncle's.
Fresh eggs. You know what else is good? Fresh chicken. Fresh fried chicken.
Is it guinea chicken?
By the way, their attacks, if you're in the chat giving them grief about hating on Bojangles earlier.
Wait, say that chicken type again real quick. 'Cause this says guinea fowl. It's a very different bird.
Guinea fowl? Guinea hen?
Guinea hen? Is that what I'm looking for?
Try guinea hen.
Nah, it didn't show anything different.
No, I'm getting a very like
Oh,
specific.
pull it up.
This thing looks like a
Kind of like a small
peacocky
peacock.
kind of thing,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
without all the feathers.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what you were talking about? People
Yeah.
raise this like a chicken?
Yeah.
Oh my
We
god!
had some when I was a kid.
Yeah. I was like, this can't be right. This isn't a chicken. Like,
Well, that's why I didn't call them chickens.
oh my goodness.
You ever seen
Your youngest
guinea?
love goats. Goats are great.
The
I
goats
love-
are absolutely disgusting creatures.
They're handy.
No, they
Uh,
are useful as shit.
This I love the way this chicken looks, but every time my uncle has one, it is the meanest bastard in the entire flock.
Rhode Island Reds, in my experience, have been the meanest. Rhode Island Red roosters,
Mm,
which is good because they'll protect the flock
yeah.
more. But a pack of dogs or coyotes or whatever is still gonna ruin everybody's day.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Nah, you don't even gotta worry about those.
Shut up.
Yeah, it depends where you are. Like coyotes will be a big problem if you're not like deep in the city, but birds are always going to be a problem.
I believe
pretty
it
much.
sparkles. You'll be friends with that
Like
murder
hawks.
of crows in no time because they'll remember your kindness.
They try and pull anything, just fight them. They're donezo.
They're done so.
And the biggest problem is that you can't actually be on. Like you can't watch them all the time.
Yeah.
That's what makes it.
I really feel like Michael would lose a 1v1 match against a hen. Not even a rooster.
You know,
A
like
hand.
you know, like the Grand
What are
Tour,
you
like Top
talking
Gear,
about?
where they like have to do something like farm wise, and you're always kind of giggling because you know they're gonna like mess it up somehow. That's what I can't wait for.
You would just grab it by the neck and start whipping it around.
I would like to see you do that. Because that's exactly how I handle it. But, like, to see someone who's never done that do it, I would
Oh, he wouldn't know what to
watch
do.
you even try to grab its head while it's trying to peck you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I've
wouldn't
never,
know how to
I've
approach
never
it.
dealt with chickens myself. Actually, like I've had family members own them. I've never dealt with chickens.
They're fun. Like I said,
I've
they're
lived around
low. They're
cows.
relatively low maintenance. And if you
Yeah,
lose one, it's not a
90%
big
of the
deal.
time you laugh at them while they run looking like they got, like,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
poopy
hilarious.
diapers. Like, they're so goofy
Ah,
looking.
you used to be dinosaurs. Used to be a damn T-Rex.
It's that 1% of the time, though, when that freaking rooster comes around, you're like, fucker, make it back in there. And you forgot your boots, you know, you're just, like, walking out for a minute.
You
You're
walk
like,
at
damn
some
it.
chicken shit.
I have never seen a chicken turn down anything. I haven't tried to feed them a dog treat. I have fed them fried chicken before,
Of
and they ate it just fine.
course they did.
Hey, what's up, Lucifer? Thank you for liking that
All of
video.
them are skinwalkers.
It tastes just like me.
Oh man, my pond finally got all the numbers right, so I was able to get some little goldfish outside again.
Huh.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I was doing the soccer con thing right now, and it's like, enter discount code. What kind of discount codes do they offer? I've not heard that.
I don't know. I figure as long as I keep an eye out, so the next time I can get that like panelist discount, then
Yeah, that's fine.
we'll just make use of that after the fact.
Mean roosters are great neighborhood patrol. You can't turn your back on them. It's
Yeah.
like geese, like a gander who's pissed at you.
Yeah, actually, having a goose can be even better for protection. Or, like,
Also,
protecting your
goose
birds.
eggs are pretty damn good. Like they're not incredibly huge. Like maybe duck eggs would be my comparison. But yeah, ducks and geese actually make really good fowl if you're looking for something that isn't just a coop full of chickens.
Also, ducks are just kind of cuter
Oh,
than chickens.
Lucifer, what do you think about the female custodies controversy going on with Warhammer?
They
Oh yeah,
make
Lucifer, you
female
want to talk about
custodians?
that? Yeah. Let's go.
Why would they do that? Rather than
Because
It's wokeness. That's what it is.
representation.
Yeah, it's specifically wokeness.
I don't know
They
how
want
you guys
to virtue signal
look. I don't know
that
how
they
you
are
guys can call it
inclusive.
wokeness when they've always been female custodians.
That's what they said, but there actually
I will
hasn't
kick
been.
you, Michael.
No,
an
there
actual-
always has been.
He's literally trolling you.
I am, obviously.
But what I don't
No,
understand
that's
is you've got
actually what
something
Games
like
Workshop came out and said, and
Yes.
said,
Yeah.
there's always been some. It's
That's
always been
wild,
there. But it's
yeah.
like, yeah, but you didn't.
Like they never just add new stuff. That's what you need to do. Just add new stuff.
yeah,
And
'cause
they
you,
did.
you
They
already
They've
have
added new stuff.
added, yeah.
Primaris Marines are completely new.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
you have the Sisters of Battle, right? Which is this
Yes.
whole idea that there are women who want to fight. They do the Sisters of Battle. Why not just have Sisters of other things? Why does it always have to be like, oh, now there just is a female Space Marine? It's like, what if you just made another Sisters faction that was Custody type? Like they weren't, but they were trying to be. And like you could have it in like the board game or whatever, the people that actually play that, like you could make it so it functions pretty similar just on a dice number.
Yeah,
But you don't have to like mess with the lore to
They
make
already had that.
like what do you mean? How
And they have like female
Sisters of Silence?
exclusive,
Yeah, there we
like
go.
Sisters of Battle.
See,
is
they already
only
did it. So
Sisters
then
of
why are
Silence,
they making female?
only women?
Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I'm saying.
I had no idea. I don't know any of this lore. I just know that this is weird. That like, why don't you just make new stuff?
Well, because they
Does
want
nobody
the old
play
stuff.
Sisters of Silence? Like, what happened to Sisters of Silence? Have it going, Alex.
Nothing. Oh, that's not what they're saying. They're saying they're actual custodies. Not. They're
Right, but
disregarding
apparent-
the fact that Sisters of Silence exist.
But what is the problem with Sisters of Silence that they had to make like female custodians?
Because they're not bulky and they're not like Sisters of Silence are like your traditional like lean live female warrior versus a Custodes, which is probably what you would consider a cousin of Space Marines. It's still a bulked out human in power, post-human in power armor.
what is
Where the
a
Sisters of Silence are just psychic nulls who are good at fighting.
what is the difference then between Sisters of Silence and a custodian?
Like as far as
Just being
Physically?
physically or
Physically,
their roles.
What-
physically.
okay.
Like
What-
like I
what
said,
does that
one's
mean though?
like one is the Custodes don't go through the exact same process to become Custodes that Space Marines do, but it's very similar. And in build and shape, and there's a lot of similarities. Whereas the Sisters of Silence are just they were born without a psychic presence. And
Custodies are
when-
produced SOS or natural. Okay.
yeah, exactly. And what Lucifer said.
I guess I'm just trying to figure out why why you would require, like, in gameplay, do the Sisters of Silence play the same as Custodians, or do they play different?
No, that's completely different.
Okay. I ask as though I know anything about the gameplay, other than you have a lot of setup time.
Well, and that's
you need a
and
ruler.
so much of them, like each different piece plays different than, like, even Space Marines. Different types of Space Marines play different from, a standard Space Marine. Like if
Gotcha.
you've got a Librarian Space Marine.
Librarian. Maybe I just need to look up some 40K rules so I can understand all this.
Well, Games Workshop came out recently and said, a few months ago, and basically said, no, Space Marines are still all dudes. And there was a lot of the other side was upset. All the tourists and the posers and the trannies
Mm-hmm.
were upset on that end, but so
It's
now
like-
they come out and they're like, oh yeah, your sisters or their custodians have women. There's always been women.
I mean,
Even though
don't you,
there's
like,
zero
paint these things
lore
yourself, couldn't
precedent
you just
for it.
like, if you were really wanting to, like, take your Space Marines and paint them all like whatever the purple rainbow color is, and be like, all of my Space Marines identify as women, and now you've got female Space
Yes,
Marines, right?
you can.
How hard is
And
that?
that's the thing. It's just like Dungeons and Dragons and all that problem. It's like you've always been able to, take the base game and do what you want with it. Now you can't go to an official competition with them. I think. I don't know. I don't play. I'm into the lore. I read the books. My buddy does. My buddy builds the armies, and paints the miniatures. But yeah, I don't know about how it occurs when you go to an actual competition. It'll be like, you can't do that.
Gotcha. They want the company to like, acknowledge me.
What they're doing, and they've been begging for a long time, is to just have people go, okay, we'll just take your rule book and then we'll 3D print our own figures, and we're not going to spend the insane amount of money that you charge for your figures.
Yeah, that game's crazy.
It's stupid expensive. More expensive than golf.
And that's an expensive. Oof. Not once you got all this stuff. Once you get all this stuff, it's not too bad, actually. $10 for a bucket of balls, and you can knock out for, hour, couple hours, and,
Well, you go to driving range, but then you gotta, if you want to play, you gotta pay to go to the course.
You get some pretty killer Groupons though nowadays. They come with with a cart, like, $50 for you, your wife, and 5 to 6 hours of enjoyment. Like that's not bad as far as like dollars go for a weekend.
You ever been to like Top Golf or one of those things?
Oh, for sure. I'm a
That's
gold member
damn
or whatever.
expensive right there.
Yeah, that can add up. You go during the right. They have like happy hour type deals, and and get some of their other like coupon-y things, and you can make it a lot easier. Balls, like, golf balls, IJP. Bucket of golf balls. Not the bucket of balls the female custodians would require, but the ones that I play with.
Serrano, is you still there?
I said keyboard stream, but I feel like my entire night is going to be taking apart these switches.
Yeah.
But there is something kind of, I don't know. Not meditative. Is that what it is? Is that what I'm thinking of? No, it's kind of relaxing.
Cathartic.
Cathartic? Yeah, let's go with cathartic. I
I
don't know.
there's something so lethargic about working on these minis.
It's kind of nice. It's like it's the same repetitive move each time. Bowling
You
is
feel
expensive.
like an assembly line worker.
Bowling's
Depends on the bowling alley.
expensive.
Some
Oh, yeah,
bowling
that would make
alleys
sense.
are super cheap and some are super expensive.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Only expensive where I'm at.
Oh,
That's one of those things that for me, things that I would get with I had more money than I needed needed to be intelligent with. I would have my own bowling alley.
Mm-hmm.
Like
like a full size, not like that little like 3/4
I'd have
alley
2
you see
lanes.
sometimes.
2 lanes. That's
Yeah.
all I want. So I can have the bros over and bowl, and have a big screen TV at the end, just like at the a lot of the bowling alleys have now.
Dude,
Watching the games.
watch the game. As long as I can put in a car lift behind you so that we can be wrenching
Watching
at the same
Blaine
time.
stream and throwing bowling balls at him.
Yeah, we'll go as Zen. It's just that sort of like, it's like the brain turn off kind of thing, but still kind of happy. Just watching click, click, click. I wonder if I can flash this keyboard with my own stuff just to make sure I don't have any Chinese spyware in there.
Did you find any Chinese spies in the package?
Not yet. No. I still, it's one of those funny things. Like anytime you buy something from SanDisk or somebody, that's coming straight from China. You buy, like Craftsman tools straight from China, but we'll just plug that stuff into our networks. No problem, no question. But as soon as I buy something straight from the warehouse that made the same exact thing, now I'm like, maybe I should wipe this first. Maybe give it a full
The
reset.
fall of Craftsman has been epic.
Oh, Craftsman's fall?
Yeah.
I don't understand how you become Ryobi when you're Craftsman. Like, it's wild to me.
My dad has a Craftsman. My dad has a Craftsman John boat that is fiberglass, and it's in very good condition. It is older than me. He bought it from Sears.
Mm-hmm.
You will never see anything like that built by them anymore.
Nope.
I think the real solution to Warhammer is start selling 3D printers.
We already covered that.
Yeah, I was talking to my mom.
They will come after people.
Yeah,
they have come
yes.
after people for that though.
Yeah.
What they should
They
do.
came after YouTube creators for creating fanfic content.
Mm-hmm. Didn't they?
And basically, the really good ones. The really good ones. They said, "Hey, come work for us, but you can't create on your own anymore." And the other ones, they just said, "Cease and desist."
Yeah, they just got rid of the ones they couldn't stand.
Yeah, so they've been trashed for a while now.
At least 5 years.
Yep.
I don't actually know when it started because I don't keep up with Games Workshop all, but I know they've been really bad this whole decade.
Well, there was a resurgence with COVID because it was like a lot of hobbies people got into them.
Became more prominent, yeah.
Yeah.
My cousin used to do the builds and stuff, and he had like a magazine he would get from them that was like, here's how you make
like White Dwarf or Road
landscape and
Trader
stuff. And like one of them was like it took a wiffle ball and turned it into this like cool tree thing, and I was like, wow, that's actually really cool the way they like molded everything up and built it. Like if they'd had that kind of like support or subscription or some kind of like, hey, here's a fee and you get access to like all of our 3D model type stuff, like I bet you they could make a killing off of that. But it's
they're trying to build something like that, or I've heard that they're trying to build something like that.
Yeah.
But you can
It's
get
like
you.
the
I mean,
Steam
there's
model,
YouTubers
right?
out there that are really good modelers on their own.
Mhm.
Games Workshop can't do anything about them because they're just showing assembly tips. But the guys who are going out there and doing work and putting like animation out there,
Right.
those are the ones they're going after.
Yeah, the least profitable videos.
Yeah, the ones that take all of the time to make.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they want to try to kill off side fan communities that don't.
Oh, yeah, like Emperor has a or a text-to-speech machine. Yeah. That whole series was hilarious, and then they came in and shut that down, from what I understand.
Same, Jimmy. Same.
Flash gets hilarious.
And really, and you just gotta remember, don't support people who hate you.
Yeah.
That is the only answer.
Don't buy anything then. Can't buy that
Right.
keyboard.
Yeah, he bought it from China.
Why'd you buy that damn keyboard, Blaine?
Because I want to bridge the ocean so that we can be friends with China.
None of that made sense.
They've already got to him.
I think he has the.
I
hots
told
for
you.
the
I said it
keyboard.
on Twitter. Planes confirmed Chicom.
He's just
Just
trying
how-
to go with that Chinese one.
They fall apart without us, and we can use that might to turn them good.
Oh, that
No.
reminds me. Speaking of falling apart, have you had it? Do you have that problem with your Gundam kits?
Some of the kits, yes. But what you do is you just put a dot of super glue on the ball
Or
joint.
model glue?
I use super glue on the ball
Okay.
joint. Just like, but don't put it together yet. Just put a dot on it, let it dry, and then stick it in. And just having a little bit that's sort of like not that too small of a sphere will make it actually like really stick better. But there's a bunch of like if you Google like fix gunpla joint online, like you'll find everybody is like, I spit on it, I heat it up with a soldering gun, I use glue, all that kind of stuff. Some people like clay it out so it's a little bit thicker, but I found that just having somewhere on the ball or
Something tacky.
on the nub, just well, not even tacky, just something that's not perfect, so that when you shove it in the hole, it's actually got a pressure point that's pushing it out against where it wants to be. Because the problem is that like the ball is cut a little too small, right? So you just got to make it a little bigger on any point. And
Just give it a
tends to
little
work well.
nubbin.
Yeah, give it a little nubbin.
Well, and it's not just the joints. Like he put together Wing Zero, and he's having problems with the wings kind of falling out.
With where the wings go into the back of the unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so same thing. So those pegs that go straight, just whatever the side is that's supposed to have friction, just add something to the side, and it tends to just immediately fix it.
Yeah.
But wait for it to dry before you put it on, otherwise you're stuck forever. If you go with a little dab of soup. And I always use the gel type, the cyanoacrylate, but that's because it's also fish safe. So if I ever do stuff to the tank, I can use that.
I was gonna say, so if you put your Gundam model kit in the tank, it'd be safe.
Yep.
Look, IJP, all you got to know is Warhammer 4K is 1, for nerds, 2, incredibly expensive, and 3, the IP is owned by Brit Bongs. And apparently Vanguard is one of the stockholders, so.
Oh, Vanguard and
BlackRock, of course they are. They're a primary.
I didn't see BlackRock on the list when they were posting it, but I did see Vanguard, 2 different Vanguard investment corps.
Oh, you see, BlackRock is actually the second highest investor with 6%.
So sick of that
I'm pretty
shit.
sure investment companies own over 50%.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
That's why you can just
Yeah.
have a Vanguard account and then pick the like big game company fund, and the big game company fund, it then gives you a percentage of that. So it's like, yeah, they're invested in it, but like, what do they actually own? What are they actually doing with that? Most of the time they only have it, but nominally you're the one that owns the stock at the end of the day.
Vanguard, BlackRock. They're the guys putting people on boards, and they're the ones pushing the
Exactly.
EI shit. Or what is it? ESG.
New term is bridge. That's the new one.
Bridge? Fuck.
That's the new one.
Yeah, bridge.
They gotta keep changing the language.
Yeah, because people realize using the term loses them money, so they have to keep changing.
Also,
the
BlackRock lost only $3 billion.
Only...
I don't even remember this they're talking about, but it's like $3 billion isn't really notable.
No, it wasn't only $3 billion. They lost like over $1 trillion.
Well, you'd have to bring that up.
In what?
Michael. Yeah, it's like they in their stock. I guess their stock price went down some.
Not,
but that's
yeah, stock prices probably.
I was gonna say, I assume it was their stock price because what it would usually be. But it's like $3 billion is like a single day loss. It's like that will happen for a company that's worth trillions.
Yeah, in the first half of the year, BlackRock jettisoned 1.7 trillion. Just looking up, BlackRock loses money.
As far as but that's just the stock price. That's not the company's like balance book.
Yeah. I don't. How would they even have that much money on hand?
Well, they're fucking blind.
Well, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be cash on hand. It would be like, oh, here's all of their real estate investments, and
I
then
guess
now
that makes
that
sense,
market
yeah.
has dipped by 4%, and so because of that,
Yeah.
they've lost this much on their books. Because your balance sheet is different than your cash on hand. But
yeah, the largest amount of client money lost over a 6-month period, with 1.7 trillion lost.
okay,
Yeah,
so
that would definitely be
losing
real
clients. So
estate.
money that they're because again, all these things are just their investment vehicles, right? Bunch of people give them money and then they buy stuff with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a bunch of the people that gave them money lost out on money. So that really is more of the ledger as opposed to just a stock price. You like cold hard cash compared to liquid? You know what? Hard cash is pretty fun. And
Oh yeah, it's been years since the 1.7, so they probably like lost a shit ton.
It was
BlackRock
2
owns
years
like
ago.
10 trillion in assets. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
makes
6
sense.
months 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to figure out where the money was recorded as a loss.
It is funny the idea that a money that trades in company, a company whose whole trade is basically the moving of assets and money, can also be invested in as a stock.
It is wild, isn't it?
Yeah, that's just like a funny concept.
It's this whole idea of like if they can actually generate income, then they make more than they give their clients. Then there's a profit there, and if there's a profit there, and that profit gets big enough, we can spread it out basically by making it so that the people on the board and everything can sort of what would you call that? They basically they're decentralizing their control in order to mitigate their overall tax burdens, and it just leads to an easy way to generate income as well, because then people pay you to have a chunk of your company, and you can use that money to buy more stuff. What am I doing? I'm building a keyboard eventually, and it starts by taking apart all these switches so that I can lube them up. But we got a short stream tonight, so it might just be literally lubing of switches as opposed to building of a keyboard. The keyboard might be built next week. We'll see.
Yes, the journey of 1,000 steps is completed with the first one.
I do like hard cash. That is fun. But if even if you've got a big fireproof safe, sometimes smoke will get in there and it'll ruin your money. Even in those little smoke bags, I've seen it where the dollars get all messed up. You know what doesn't get messed up from fire? Gold.
Buy gold now.
I love gold, not as an investment, but just as like a thing. Like, oh, dude, that looks so cool. Like, there's this company now, like Scottsdale something gold, that started advertising to me on Twitter, and they're like, we got this limited edition like gold stick. It's number 888, and this whole line of the new Zodiac gold. And I was like, I want this. I want gold bar number 888.
Okay, I found the BlackRock thing I was thinking about earlier. It was Larry Fink was upset that in the latest earnings call after Texas Permanent School Fund pulled $8.5 billion from of assets from BlackRock because of the ESG activism. And he was upset that it was based on political lies. Funny.
How the fuck does a school fund invest in BlackRock?
This is Texas.
Because it's the retirement fund of all the teachers.
That's it.
That makes sense, yeah.
Like different companies I've been with, like this was years ago, like Target, for example, used Vanguard as their IRA matching. So, you picked the Vanguard funds that you wanted your IRA to go into, and that's what it did. So my guess is they just picked a new one, which is hilarious because they probably picked Vanguard. Not a lot of people moving over to like a Fidelity or Weeble or Moo. You know, some of these other retirement account type things that are all more for day traders.
I know my retirement account was under Empower in my company.
Empower. I don't know.
You know,
Which Empower is under Great West Life Co.
For sure.
That's their the parent company.
Oh man, Jimmy's got it. Silver. Dude, some silver coins are so freaking cool. Hold on, let me pull up this Zodiac bar though that I
Speaking of silver though, that last episode of Seventh Prince was very fun.
Oh, I still need to catch up.
I like all of our main characters. I like the poor demon goat that's getting abused every episode. I like our main character, how fun his magic is. I think that, like I talked about it with Michael, the magic effects weren't too great in episode 3, but it finished off pretty well. And for me, how it finishes is more important than everything else.
Yeah, and you don't really expect a magic fight to look as cool as like a martial arts fight.
I kind of do because Freyren.
Yeah, but that's
I didn't see her smoke her Lucy.
Freyren's better.
Yeah, it didn't look bad. It just wasn't really anything special. The other action scenes that the show had were better, mostly.
You got a towable smoker?
Yeah.
Dude, that's the real hot.
Time to take it to ball games and sell people food outside the stadium.
I do not have room for a toad.
That's a quick way to get your ass arrested.
Yeah, it is. No, you gotta just be you gotta be far enough away.
Ah, okay.
Don't do it in their parking lot.
We can do
You can
we can do sales nearby. Little carts and stuff.
Oh yeah, in terms of I remember when I was down at
You've had street meat?
Yeah. I was gonna say I went down to the Lumen Field and there's carts like right outside the stadium basically.
Yeah,
Basically like 1 block down from the stadium and you can have carts there.
Yeah, those guys don't need all the same stuff that I do either. They're just literally like, oh, we paid $800 for this license for the year, and then they can just sell kind of wherever.
Yep.
These guys though, these little 2024 Lucky Dragon bars, they've got like a giveaway so that you can be the guy that buys number 888. I want to be the guy that gets to buy 888. At least this silver, I could like buy it and it would be like, oh, it'll still be worth like stuff in the future. And it's not like the gold one where you're like, that's a car. Like, we're not buying a gold car. But like, it's so cool looking.
They're only selling like 10,000 of them or something.
It's limited, exactly. It gets me. They got me.
That's your gotcha.
Dude.
I have
Awfully soft
I have a
metal
1
to
in
be
10,000
building a vehicle,
chance.
an automobile out of.
Yeah. I'll plate it. I'll plate it in gold.
Gold
Speaking of
leaf, not gold plate. That's even cheaper.
Connects to the trailer hicks. Oh, let me see this guy, because some of these guys are some chonk smokers. I need to up my smoker game. I bought the like one step up from entry level smoker at a Home Depot years ago, and my thought was like, if I can't make decent food with this, I don't deserve like a better smoker. But at this point, I think I'm finally at the better smoker level. All right, so here we
You
go.
don't seem like kind of like a food guy to me.
What's that?
You don't strike me as a food guy.
I don't strike you as a food guy. Yeah,
It's the
more like a
beard.
fish guy or a construction guy or
Soy guy.
soy guy, Subaru driver, if you will.
I drive a Subaru because I'm gay.
I thought it was a nickname. I love that. This is not what I expected. I wasn't expecting it to literally ride like on the hitch. I thought it was just going to be one of those trailer deals. This is way more manageable. I could do that easy. How big is the area that I'm looking at here? Obviously, I know your truck width, but like depth-wise, what am I peeping? That's wonderful. I love
Looks
that.
like about 2 feet, a little over that maybe.
Yeah, you could get like four
Biden voter.
briskets on that.
How many untrimmed bellies can fit across one rack?
7.
4? I'm gonna guess 4.
Yeah.
Mine holds like 1.5. Dummy Distraction is a proud watch anime guy. Proud to watch. I like the anime. I even talk about watching anime with people I go to church with. Okay, I am very proud.
But would you ever
talk
to
about
a
anime to your
friend?
small group folks?
Yeah, not like too specifically, but like they're all aware that I watch anime.
I watch anime content.
Are any of them anime fans?
No, not that I've encountered yet.
He'll recruit some.
Yeah, they only exist on the internet.
Yeah, I did make a new friend that has like quick jacks and stuff, and he's really into cars. And like we started talking, and he has a lot of very similar things that he and I are both into, and so we're swapping tools. We're on that level of friendship now.
Oh wow! You
yeah,
let them touch?
It's intimate. So we'll see. I haven't broached the anime subject with him yet, but we'll find out. 26 deep. Dang! That thing's as deep as mine is wide.
Yeah, I said I got it perfectly right. Just about 2 feet.
That's crazy. Look here, little grandma in the pew. You should check out this anime with Jesus and Buddha.
Our old head elder at church used to have a grill that he would trailer around, and that was like an 8-foot trailer.
Oh, I love those. There's a couple of those down south from where I am, and it's like I'll see them for sale, and I'm like, oh, that would be so cool. But I don't smoke that much food. When I do, it's like I'll smoke like a brisket. I'll do some burn ends, and even then, I'll still have like leftovers. I'm like, oh, I need to invite more people over, I guess. I've got like legit to-go boxes now, so that people can just take stuff with them. Because anytime I do it, there's just too much food.
You should just bring your food truck food trailer to the small group.
Yeah, that'll be as soon as I can. I will.
Then you just need to get some craft beer guys to show up, and then you can do some real gospel spreading.
Yep, with kegs, just like Jesus intended.
Listen here, you hipsters.
Welcome to the Church of the First Miracle.
You know, I never consented to. I never consented to seeing more of Eric July's animated content on Twitter.
Oh, it's disgusting.
It just came up. It just popped in my feed and assaulted
It's got
me.
animated content.
Oh,
don't
say
Did we
that
tell you
loud.
about the fact that ISOM got it animated? Like,
Good night, Doberman.
how much of it was animated? I don't remember how long it was, but there was definitely like animated content for. I skipped over. We're gonna have to scroll back up. Yeah, there we go. It was like there's an ad for his Yaira thing, and he was showing off like his animated ISOM.
Okay, every time I hear Yaira or however you're supposed to pronounce that, all I can think of is Wyra, and I'm like, no, they can't be talking about a Pagani right now. It's like a supercar.
Man, look,
It's definitely Yaira. That's how he says it.
I get there fast. They are the ugliest cars. They're
Have
the
you seen the
ugliest
interior
exotic.
though?
Huh?
Those interior tours on some of them, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Where like the top of the transmission linkage is like clear glass, so you can see the arms moving. I'm like, oh, that's just cool looking. But yeah, from you'd have to own one because looking at one is sinful.
They are hideous. And they were like, Pagani. I'm like, yeah, I guess.
The best part is how they all have the
But a face.
the LaFerrari side mirrors.
Yeah.
Like, what if our side mirrors were out here? And it's like, what are you towing with it? Why are your
That's
mirrors so
like,
wide?
I was getting ready to make that joke.
Oh, it's goofy.
It's my landscaping trailer on the back of my Pagani.
Exactly. Oh, I need to see if they make tow mirrors for the Tahoe.
Oh yeah.
The stock mirrors are
As many rednecks
not
that own
handy.
Tahoes, you'll find it.
Yeah, the stock mirrors are not super handy for.
If you
for
can't find it
trailer.
at J.C. Whitney.
A J.C. Whitney. I'm gonna go down to Tractor Supply. Find me some mirror extenders. Just as long as it's not some guy like JB welding a pipe on the side of the hinge.
Nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah, you know, it holds. If it holds, it holds. JB welded my buddy's thermostat housing.
Yeah,
I always forget how solid JB Weld is because you joke about it like, why don't you learn to really weld? But then like when something can't be welded, you know, it's not ferrous. Then it's like, oh, well, actually, this is super useful.
I'm the most redneck of all my cousins. Gemini.
You're the most redneck?
I'm the most redneck.
Do the rest of them live in Richmond? Is that what they are?
For the most part. Well, the one who was more redneck than me, he died.
Oh.
You took his place. You absorbed his power.
Love that. He was so redneck, they had a fist fight in his funeral.
You know, the most redneck way you could have got out. Boating accident.
Well, we were all taking pictures. You know, we were taking a picture of the family behind his boat, which was there.
Yeah.
Which is not a John boat. It was a deep sea boat. I mean, it was nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Real hole on it.
And look, 29 years old, already had worked hard enough to get his own boat.
Yep.
I mean, he was a good, real good guy. But
probably grabbing,
got taken too soon.
You know, some of the folks from the county he lived in were feuding, and next thing I know, somebody knocks my Stetson off of my head, and there's a fist fight going on right as the family's getting pictures taken.
Scene of a movie.
Next thing
it felt like it. I mean, it was.
Stetson got knocked off. I just had to roll up my sleeves.
That's how you know it was a funeral, because he was wearing a Stetson.
I said, oh my gosh, I was like, he's probably laughing right now over it.
Yeah.
And the guy who started it, everybody knew he was going to get his ass beat because some of the other people there were pissed off that it happened. So it's like, okay, cool. You know, it's gonna police itself, but you know.
Okay. Andrew Clark, how much oil do I put in my spring bag? I'm gonna Google it while you. I got the 105.
He's got the little
thin lube. How much oil for keyboard spring bag?
One thing I will say about Yaira, the art just looks better than I saw him.
It probably does, yeah.
For anything you could say about the people, I have no idea. Like all the stupid stuff people were saying about the Oscar sister or whatever. The art looks better. It's probably going to be better written if Eric July wasn't writing it. I don't know if he is or not, though.
Yeah, who knows?
He isn't, right?
If he isn't writing it, it's probably just going to be straight up better than I saw him in every way.
Mm-hmm.
2, 3, 5.
How do you even spell it?
6.
Yaitra?
Yaira?
Yaira?
How do you think it's spelled?
Gaira?
Spell it out.
It's a euro.
Y.
It's Greek.
No, it's Yaira. Y-I-I.
10 drops. Okay.
Y-A-I-R-A.
Okay, I found it.
Then do I shake it? Oh, this is the weirdest childproof cap I think I've ever seen in my life, but yeah, that would stop a baby.
Childproof caps do more trouble than they're worth.
You're a minute behind. That's okay. I can wait for you. Do I shake it or do I just dump 10 in there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Going for that ultimate keyboard feel here. Okay, so I see some of the...
Were you trying to go for the real authentic sweatshop experience
that's,
here.
That's the whole vibe here. Is picture all of those little children that are doing this every day.
That's not Japanese culture. That's like Vietnamese.
Yeah, it is surprising how much Thailand and Vietnam. There's a lot of stuff that comes from there. I watch Project Farm, and like whenever he's doing reviews, he's always like going through the different models of everything that he's comparing, and he'll be like, Craftsman, made in Thailand, assembled in America, and like just it's funny how he goes through everything. Usually you put the drops in first, but I don't think it's a problem. Yeah, I've seen everyone putting the drops in over the springs. Shake the bag when it has lots of air in it. Got it. Blowing up the bag.
I feel like there's a lot more to this than.
We're gonna go jihad
That
on that
makes
bag.
What are you frying it? Is it like wings?
Just a bag full of springs. In India, dude put super glue in the tip.
Just the
of
tip.
Is D as a form of birth control, and he died. Whoa, 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 whoa! He glued his dick
died.
hole?
Yes.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Don't do that.
I need to try that right
Suggestion:
now.
don't.
Doesn't he know that pee is stored in the balls?
Yeah, you gotta let that out, otherwise you die. Most fights are because people forgot to let it out.
Honestly, somebody that's stupid shouldn't reproduce anyways.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there. They went to the hospital and they couldn't help him. They couldn't just like, I don't know, drill it out. Like, that sounds terrifying, but like
You could just
any
cut
other-
it. Yeah, you could just cut it.
You ever super glue something like or when you get the super glue cap off and it's hardened inside of the tube?
Ugh,
They didn't like take a.
like a pin.
I mean, at some
I
point you
feel
could
like
just.
they might not have wanted to help him.
Oh no! What do we do?
I guess you're gonna
Imagine
die.
if he like put it in and then squeezed it shut. Like this is
Darwinism is when people decide to not help you because of how stupid you are.
Didn't he try masturbating so hard that the pressure?
Built up and it like ruptured or something.
Did they
Like,
consider letting it soak in hot water?
only marginally more dumb than sounding. Yeah.
Well,
so the real
stop,
answer is that
Sparkles.
he
Ma'am,
probably
you started this with in India.
in India, and
In
then also
The hospital's probably.
In India, he is merely below average.
well, and when do you go to the hospital after gluing your penis shut? You go in when something hurts, when something's wrong. So he might have gone in at a point where they were like, well, we could have helped if you showed up an hour ago, but now.
Well,
Yeah,
no. If he was using
it's too bad.
if he was using it for birth control, he probably used it and then did the thing.
Well, technically, he succeeded.
He did. Well,
I'm sure he's not
genetic
getting
control.
anybody pregnant now.
Okay.
He'll find a way.
So now what else do I lubricate?
They already
Oh,
have enough
yeah,
trouble
this
as it
only
is.
just
How do you
proves
think
that-
they're gonna do that bunger after they're dead?
Well,
Jimmy,
how they're
this
going to
only
do it
proves
is they're going to
that
inadvertently
getting out of
create
it.
guts
Yeah.
through this.
All right. So now I
In
want
Pakistan, the goats look like people.
Pardon.
Why do you think that is?
Michael's buying tickets right now.
My
What
extra
is up
backed
with
up
you?
with jizz and piss.
What are you talking about?
Mrs. Sparkles, you're not allowed to say jizz and piss. It's too funny. Oh my goodness. Okay, so dip your brush into lube to obtain the same amount of lube as before. Then lube all 4 sides of the stem evenly. Then take the residual lube and continue to lube the cylindrical area on the bottom of the switch. Your switch should have a nice, thin, even coating with a slight sheen to the stem. Okay.
Why is it this convoluted and
I don't
complex?
know.
Why is it this many steps to make a keyboard?
Because the Chinese made it.
General practices for lubing with
It's just not
Kwong
about
here. Teha.
It's
Teha.
not about making a key, or it's not about
This is the
having a
worst
keyboard.
gunplay video
It's
ever.
about making a keyboard, and that's like a whole subculture. Not using a keyboard, making a keyboard.
Yeah, it is about making the keyboard.
This is like people who make their own craft beer.
Yeah. Blaine does that too, I'm sure, at some point.
My uncle did.
Lives, he
I
lives
didn't.
in
I just drank it because I love it.
lives in Washington.
All right.
Destroy the child. Corrupt them all.
So little dot there. Okay. Little dot there. Because autism loves extra steps. Okay, so you really spread it around
This is
inside those
autism with
areas.
fewer steps.
Yeah, I think this is one step to autism. This guy has 505,000 subscribers, okay? And all he's doing is rubbing a brush on a little switch right now. Okay.
Hey, I'm a subscriber for one of those carpet cleaning.
Oh, those they turn the mud into a carpet and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. All right, now stem. Okay, I have one of those. They came in the kit. I have the squookies. So you hold that and then you dot. What do I dot here?
This isn't even a surprise. Like, just take a look at this, Stu.
Okay, that's for Stu, not for me.
No, this is about Michael.
No.
Are you still laughing about the Pakistan thing?
No, I just saw this on Twitter. It's like, of course you would. Of course a VTuber would say like, yeah, a horse. That sounds great.
No, what is it? It's loading
You
in.
can
It's
open
taking
it,
an hour.
Michael.
It's taking an hour to.
What?
No. No.
Am I allowed to click this on
Yeah,
stream?
you can click this. It's not gonna get you banned or anything. It's
You
just-
were still laughing about
it's
the
just gonna hurt
Pakistan
you.
thing.
I want your most out of the box wood all star.
classic.
That's you, Michael?
No.
No, no, she's a centaur.
It's different. She's
She's an 800-year-old centaur.
It's just
Real
it is
shit.
just a horse with a woman.
I won't. Also, you have to hear me say
It's okay. Anybody who
yeah.
anybody who thinks Celine Dion is hot can't say anything to you.
Okay, so you really do smear it around the entire like outer lower.
Wait, why do you think
casing.
she's not hot?
Wait, why not? Why wouldn't you?
Mm.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a really nice thin layer.
I don't know
though,
who
so
Celine Dion is.
I
I'm
had
not
to look her
degenerate,
up.
Michael.
I had to look her up.
and around the little tippy thing. Okay.
No.
What? Celine Dion?
When she looked fine when she was younger, but no.
Okay, a little bit there. Okay.
She has that. Did you guys see that that Neanderthal image going around?
Neanderthal image?
It was
Neanderthal?
This is
Yeah,
what
for
the
sure.
average woman looked like 2,000 years ago.
Oh, that one.
The young image of her I found looks just like that.
Did you turn your safe search off for that?
No. Why
No,
would I
it's
turn it
not
on?
winner.
I never turn it on.
Oh, never mind.
Doesn't it default on?
Not when you're Michael.
She's
Still
trapped in
different.
her body. Oh no.
We
She
gotta
has
pray
a
for
D
you.
disease? A dick disease?
No, she died.
Who?
A death.
Celine Dion.
disease.
Celine Dion died?
She's not.
She's very much alive.
Golly,
Okay.
most retarded person on the planet. Shows
Now-
up to Blaine, just happens to show up to Blaine's stream every night.
Every night. Somehow he gets here.
He never
we'll never
leaves.
find out.
That's the secret. He's always backstage.
Mhm.
I get here and he's already there.
That's because YouTube was dead.
There was a time where you were like, I didn't want to have to find the new stream link, and I had this in my history. Like, okay. Seriously, she is sick with something? Oh, okay. Makes
Trapped in
basically
her body,
trapped.
or well, there is a cure for that.
Yeah, half a century ago.
She's Canadian too, so the cure is pretty
It's
much
state mandated now.
yeah.
Oh, I need to trim this wick here. All right. Oh, I heard you.
Michael's handler locks him into the stream. His guardian.
That's why he thinks like he knows what to do with like farm animals, because for one of his field trip days, they took him to one of those like, you know, the helping autistic people with farm.
He went to a petting zoo, and all he did was say,
"It's not a
"I
petting
can take
zoo.
him."
It's like the hands-on retard learning, where they're like they feel like if they get him out in nature, it'll be better for him." Do they not have these where you are? Around here, we do that all the time. We ship our mentally disabled out to farms to like touch a cow, and you're like, "Oh, a cow."
I could take him.
That helps them learn their ABCs. Just like
Dude, I could win.
The cow says.
Here's how you would win: is the cow wouldn't see you as a threat and just walk away. That's the only way that you get out of that. With
And then I
any
grab a
sense of
really big
dignity.
rock and run up on it.
Down syndrome camp, yeah, basically. She has stiff person syndrome. Oh, I don't know what that means, but
Look, just give me a really big rock. I'll beat any cow.
Just like Celine Dion. I bet you'd win that 1v1.
what would you do with the cow after you destroyed it?
Eat it.
After he pissed it off
Yeah,
so much that
obviously.
it
How would
basically mauled him, trampled him.
it's
No,
like
you
those,
see, you piss it off, and then you get somewhere really high so you can drop the rock on it.
how do you
Yeah,
get
you're gonna
high?
do that in the middle of a cow field,
When's the
someplace
la-
really
yeah, when's the
high where
last
there's no
tree
trees.
you climbed.
Yeah.
It's
don't
because
need
the tree
trees.
that's in the cow field is going to be this like 400-year-old walnut that's like 5 feet across. You're not going to get your skinny little arms around it.
Okay. Imagine you piss the cow off. Now it's charging at you.
Have you ever
Lift the rock over your
climbed a
head
tree?
I've never.
and throw it at the cow's head.
So why would you want to fight a cow?
I don't know why he's
To
trying to
prove a
fight a
point.
cow. But it's pissed at him and charging him, and he
It's
thinks
gonna
he's
be
going
really
to be
bad
able to
when
like
he loses
defeat
to
it.
the cow.
Have a
If
good
you
night,
just-
Pop.
I'm talking like
I'm
a
right behind
bigger
you.
than a brick. I'm talking like 3 bricks. The
Have
size
you ever
of a
lifted
rock.
3 bricks at one time in your life?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean it's 3 bricks. It's not that hard.
Do you
talking like a
even
20-pound
live, bro?
rock. Talking like a heavy rock.
I'm gonna
You
get a
just-
big rock and I'm gonna climb a tree in the middle of a field.
I would not
Like,
want to be carrying
that-
a brick while
This
climbing
is like
a
the
tree.
most primitive deer stand description I've heard.
You know what this
Look.
reminds me of? This reminds me of like a Far Side comic where they're like, "What happened to Michael?" Like, and he's just like impaled on a cow. Like,
Dart Wrangler. Paul beat it, Michael. Don't be-
oh man, I do love my uncle he has big donkeys, but he's got tiny cows, and his little cows are actually really fun to hand feed apples.
I'm
'Cause
sure.
again, they're it's like if a dog was 5 feet tall. It's just it's not like a cow where they're just kind of like, I hear people that are like, we had a dairy cow and man, that thing it loved us whenever we came, and like all this kind of stuff. I ain't never seen a big cow that was like anything affectionate, but like little cows, they have personality, I've seen. But
What about Highland
Sparkles,
cow?
I have heard
More
people say that
homeworn.
it's fake.
As I say, the more hormones they have to make them big, shrinks their brain.
Yeah.
Dude, my
Probably.
wife found tiny donkeys on Instagram, and that's what she's trying to convince me we need. And I'm like, no, we
No,
don't.
you don't.
Is cow
No.
tipping a thing? Yes.
Look, see, easy. You tip the cow, donezo.
I don't
Yeah,
think you can pull
do
it
you
off,
know how to
Michael.
tip a cow?
No, not all.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're missing a very key step in that whole plan of yours.
No, you see, this is the minimum amount of tools you'll need to beat a cow, and it's just a big rock.
Yeah, but you can't be retarded.
But I'd win.
Big rock. Where are you hitting it with this big rock? You keep saying
The head.
head, but like
Head.
I don't think you understand the head is bigger than your torso. Like
That's why you need a big rock.
Where are you hitting it on the head?
where in the head are you
If
hitting
it's
this
charging
thing?
at you, it's running at you head first.
If it's running at you,
Not that
you're
simple.
You're just gone. Andrew Clark, I require assistance. Do I just do I reach into the spring bag with a tweezer and pull it out and stick it in and then just set this on it? Or is there some magic I have to chant while I do this?
Yeah, I said, like I said, I didn't grow up a dairy farm. I don't know at all. I've heard people say that cow tipping isn't real. I don't know whether it is or not. The Blaine says it is. So
Cow tipping?
yeah,
No one tips cows when you go cow tipping. You all just say we're gonna go cow tipping, and then you go hang out in a field
it's like
doing
sniper
whatever
hunting.
teens do at night. Most cows sleep on their knees, so like, what are you gonna tip over? They're already on the ground. Like,
Well, that might give
You're
Michael
gonna
a
take
fighting
it out.
chance.
Definitely be annoying.
Dude, you just wait for nightfall, bring over the big rock, start
Yeah, but then
smacking.
you're gonna fall asleep. You're gonna
How
fall
big of
asleep
a
to
rock are we
cow.
talking, Michael? Because you might not be able to kill a cow with a brick.
I'm not talking brick, I'm talking like 3 bricks. I'm talking pretty big rock.
I don't think Michael can get angry enough to kill an animal
full
with his
cane.
bare hands or a rock.
I'm just trying to like think of like, cause like usually the cow kill is like use the punchy thing that like shoots
From
through
No
to the
Country
brain,
from Old
right?
Men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like that works because it's tiny and actually like breaks through something. I'm trying
Also
to picture somebody
pneumatic.
crushing a cow skull, because like you'll get those and like you'll hang them on a wall or something, and like they are not going anywhere. So all I picture is, I don't care how big this rock is, you could be out there with a 60-pound dumbbell, smash it on a cow's head, and it's gonna get up, look at you, and just crush you. It's a lot of work for a keyboard. Yeah. And then this whole thing was because he was like, "Oh, you should do this," and I was like, "I'm not gonna do this unless I buy it on AliExpress." And he was like, "Oh, don't do that." So then I had to do it.
Okay, so in our new scenario, the cow's sleeping. It's sleeping
asleep.
underneath a tree.
Okay.
So it doesn't see you coming. You get up in the tree with the big rock.
That's not gonna wake it up.
Okay. You're already in the tree waiting for a cow to fall asleep.
Again, all right.
underneath.
So now we're back to the deer stand scenario.
Do you want to talk about Chugga Conroy getting canceled and how that happened, or do you want to
Wait,
talk
what-
about Michael failing to kill a cow because he doesn't understand biology?
Getting
Imagine.
himself killed.
Look,
trying
would
to
it
kill a
be
cow.
easier? Do you guys think it would be easier to smash the cow's skull in, or to like break its back so it can't move?
Break a
What do you
cow's
mean
back.
No.
easier?
A cow's back that's designed to carry hundreds of pounds and just daily, just
No,
walk
the
around
way
with
you
that.
actually get around that is you just break its leg if you really have to stop it. Yeah.
Like the answer is the head crushing is easier, but
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, that doesn't make it feasible.
Yeah, like I think say you're going one-on-one with a cow. The most viable route to success is probably going for the leg if you can't
Michael's
escape.
the kind of guy, he sees the video with the guy who punched the kangaroo to save his dog, and he's like, yeah, I could do that.
No, I don't think I could do that. There are most animals I know not to mess with.
I think I could take a kangaroo.
Oh no, most people cannot take kangaroos. It's just because it walks away.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely put it in a similar category to a wolf, where
That's a
if
very
it wants
good
to kill
question,
you, it's
Sparkles.
probably gonna kill you.
Why are we attacking cows, Michael?
Because
we
yeah,
want burgers.
if
I think.
a kangaroo does decide to kick you in the chest, it will probably kill you.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we
It-
just
They
started
look
talking
like
about cows, so-
100% muscle, zero
Yes.
body fat,
Yep.
just all muscle mass.
So yeah, to kill a kangaroo, you need like a lot more than just a rock.
You need a gun.
You probably need a gun or a flamethrower.
You could use a bow, but probably ideally a gun.
Well, that depends. Can you use the bow? No. All right. Yeah, use a gun. And you're going to need a higher
Think
caliber
about
one.
whales, Miss Sparkles. Do you hate dolphins and whales?
Man, whale hunting seems like it'd be a lot of work.
How can you wear? How can you, dolphin?
Wait, why do we hate dolphins though, Sparkles?
Do you remember the?
Dolphins are assholes. They rape.
Yeah, they rape.
They rape.
They're
Okay.
like the main character from Mushoku Tensei, but worse.
He never raped anybody.
I know, but like, it felt like he was going to for a while.
No, he wasn't. Ever.
It felt like he was going to for a while.
No, he's just a pervert.
Yeah, and perverts rape.
Koalas.
No, I mean it felt like he was going to for a
He
while.
wasn't. That was never on the table.
That was on the table.
If he tried to, like, the only person you ever would have had anything with was Roxy.
Masturbate
And
with eels.
That wasn't gonna happen.
I forgot about that.
What?
Dolphins, yeah,
Dolphins,
they
they
masturbate.
will
There's
use-
nothing wrong with killing for fun. The only thing we're doing is picking on Michael because he thinks he can kill something.
No, she's talking about dolphins. Dolphins are
I
evil
know.
because they rape for fun, kill for fun, and masturbate with eels.
Yeah, they're fucked
Well,
up
aside
animals.
from the eels part, I'm okay with that.
Who?
I mean,
who?
isn't most animal coitus some form of rape? You ever heard two cats that were having a good time? Yeah, me neither.
So you're pro rape, then? Is that what you're saying?
Only in the animal world, because it seems to be the only way.
If only pandas knew.
That's the problem. Pandas are waiting for consent.
Same with the rest of Asia.
I mean, that's why they call them herbivore men. That's exactly what a panda is.
Okay, but ducks kind of earned it. I mean, like, have
That's
you
kinda
seen?
earned it.
Have you seen ducks? Ducks are probably one of them. They're more
Ducks
violent than
sucks.
dolphins, I think.
Yeah, but they're
They
easier to
can be.
kill.
Geese are way worse than ducks, though.
Yes.
So like that's the thing. You wouldn't need a weapon to beat a geese. You just need strategy.
No, you don't. I
yeah.
don't think. I think that an average guy can do what you're saying you can do. But when I say Michael in particular is not capable of doing any of these things.
Michael's definitely more capable of doing it than me. Because he's bigger
Of
than I
what?
am. Of killing an
Yes.
animal.
Yeah.
Oh, Stu, you're thinking about it wrong. You're thinking about it wrong. Mike's got that retard strength. He might pull this off. He just gets out there and smashes it with a Chevy small block, and he's like, "I did it!" We're like, "No, Lenny, no!"
Gets it in on a headlock.
Nap time, Mr. Cow.
We gonna be on the farm together. We're gonna have a bunny.
Michael,
about
just go
the
back to
rabbit.
making grilled cheese sandwiches.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just saying,
Don't-
every time Veritex posts anything that's like boomer, I post George and Lenny looking out at the river.
That's such a. It's so wild that entire series or film, movie.
Movie.
I read the book.
Book.
I don't remember.
It's
the second.
both. Yeah.
Like, hey, high schoolers, why don't you just Did you enjoy this? Middle school. I don't even remember.
Yeah, middle school.
Michael's secretly related to Shane Gillis all along. Hurry, Danny, I got him. Are you balancing the stabilizers? Oh my god, man. What is this? Star Trek? What did you just say to me?
Is there any anime like Mice and Men? I'm trying to think.
It would be more of a Frankenstein, I would think, where you have like a yokai or some kind of mutant or monster that is trying to be protected by some humans but is hunted by others.
Well, I'm trying to think. Would there be one where it's kind of like the main character's best friend has to be killed by him at the end?
That sounds familiar, but
Devilman Crybaby.
I don't know if they count as
That's
best friends.
different. That's
They're more like
He doesn't really have any friends other than him, so that's kind of by default.
Yeah, but I don't think he's really himself by the end of it.
That's who he always was, though.
Yeah, I mean Lucifer kind of picked that. Later, I don't know what this means. I bought just a keyboard, but I bought a plug and play, so I'm gonna plug it in and then I'll play. And it has I don't know, switches on the sides that I can squeeze, I guess. I don't know. Maybe these are those.
All right, I gotta bounce. I'm gonna go fall asleep and not worry about Michael doing anything.
All right, enjoy it.
Do you think? Okay, Stu. Name one animal that I couldn't beat.
That you couldn't beat?
Yeah.
Or
literally any of the ones we've talked about.
I could beat a geese.
No.
I mean, it could fly away, but that's like
a goose, not a geese. A goose would make you cry. Geese would murder your ass.
Nah. Geese, I would need a weapon, but like a single goose, easy.
No.
I have attacked geese with golf clubs to get them away and hit them, actually, and had them just turn around and try to attack me. So, geese aren't, they're not just rolling over for you.
Geese are not to be trifled with.
Did you hit it in the neck?
Hit it square across the back, actually.
Geese are probably as durable, if not more so, than eagles.
Than an eagle?
Yeah.
Dude, eagles just die from looking too wrong.
Here's the thing. I feel like geese are on the same level as like, this is how you're supposed to kill a squid in the humane way, and they just karate chop it. I feel like you could just do that to a geese.
No.
No, that's not going to work, Michael.
Or whatever it is that has geese near where you live. And I want you to go karate chop a goose and then come back and tell us the story. Or, even better, video it. Video it. YouTube Live it. Do something.
I think we have to put that on Facebook Live. I don't think YouTube wants that.
Dude, this thing's gonna end up on Live Leak if you do it wrong.
Damn.
I can't wait. All right. Everybody, chat. It's been great. Blaine, thank you for hosting.
Anytime.
Serranos, you're all right. Michael, don't get yourself killed in some tragic animal. You'll end up on the news. Don't be a statistic.
Okay,
good night, everybody.
Good
night.
I feel like most birds are relatively easy to beat.
Oh,
goose is probably one of the hardest that isn't a giant terrestrial bird.
Yeah, so like I said,
taking out emus and ostriches, goose is probably like top 3.
Yeah, if you ignore the really, really, really big ones like a goose, you could just beat a goose.
You could just beat a goose. You know, the other problem with geese too is their long ass neck is actually quite mobile, so it actually makes it pretty difficult to just give them the old chicken whip. But I mean, you can try.
Yeah, that would be my fear, is that it can kind of just whip itself around and attack me. But I feel like if you have
California gored by a bull while holding Goose by the neck.
So we've been assuming like minimal weapons. Ideal weapons, though. I want Katana to fight that goose.
Oh yeah, I mean,
if you have a knife,
you could take
do
a
it.
hatchet into a goose
Yeah.
and finish that one pretty easily. That's not,
Yeah.
Tooled is always a human win. That is a
Yeah, exactly. Fighting a cow, though, if you want a tool,
You could
air
still,
compressor.
I was gonna say you could kill a cow with a knife. Yeah, it's actually probably a better option than trying to use a brick.
yeah.
Oh no, Andrew Clark's made it. For a second there, I saw the no video feed thing, and I was like, oh no, big bridge got him, big soup. But he slowly loaded
He's
himself
back.
in.
Nope, he's
no.
not here.
He's still loading
Andrew Clark, which animal could you beat in a fight?
I think his connection is 2 bars.
He's gone.
Okay, now I wouldn't want to fight a dog, but I feel like I could win.
I hear like the beginning of a word every 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
He gone.
Go fist fight a swan in a paddle boat. No, you can't take them on their own turf. That's the worst idea you've ever had, Jeffy.
Can you imagine there's just a dude with a sword on a boat being attacked by a bunch of geese?
Just and it's like a personal kayak too, so it's not like he can jump out of the boat. He's strapped in with that stupid waistband thing.
Mm-hmm. There's just a dude in a paddleboard and a bunch of swans are attacking, and he's just whipping it around like Donatello in the Ninja Turtles.
God no. His AOL's booting up, yeah.
He's linking in from Skype.
Beautiful liberal internet. This is the America that Andrew Clark wants. One where he can't talk to me. Okay.
It's so weird that you have to glue all these pieces together.
I'm lubing up these pieces so that they wiggle better.
No.
So they can actuate properly.
Yeah, so it's actually the opposite of glue, I would say. Although, you lube wrong and you might as well be using glue. How did these get fit together? Oh, I'll worry about those later. Give me another. Cool. Yeah, so the springs get a little grease from the grease bag. And then the switch base and the switch top both get a thicker grease for some reason. And then I kind of squeak them together a little bit just to make sure that, that's the way it works.
All right, I'm looking at an animals I can fight tier list.
Oh, nice. What's on the list?
So the first one is lobsters,
Yeah, I could be a lobster.
Yeah, I could be a lobster.
I don't even need the rock to beat a lobster.
Yeah, I feel like you just swing it around and hit things with it till it breaks.
You just give it one of these. Just...
I mean, literally, as long as it doesn't get you in its crusher claw, it's probably not any kind of issue.
Even then, if I lose a finger and I still kill a lobster, I'm a winner.
I wouldn't really count. I mean, I really shouldn't be losing anything to a lobster.
Yeah. And then the next one's a zebra.
Ugh, yeah. See, that's where it's tough because some of those
I'm
not
beating a zebra. Not with my bare hands. I guarantee.
So zebras are fast. I think that's just, I don't know.
Also, how am I gonna kill a horse with my hands?
Yeah, your only hope would be to dig out its eye sockets, but getting to that point means you have to get up around its head. And zebras are shorter than horses, but they're not that much shorter. You're getting trampled before you get
there
into
is
the,
no
into
way
position.
I could strangle a horse.
Yeah. And then the next one's a field mouse. Very easy.
Oh, hardest part is catching it.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't. It's not really going to do anything to me, and I don't think it has rabies.
Yeah,
It's
you
like-
wait.
then you
You wait
have,
for it to start nibbling, and then you just start swinging.
And then you have a male deer, so you're just fucked.
Yeah,
those things
that's
have
probably just a
horns.
loss.
Yeah.
A deer is
Antlers.
probably easier to take care of than a horse, like or a zebra, but it's still not
No, it
really
has
So-
antlers.
So,
It can-
well, but the antlers are a double-edged weapon. If you get a deer by the antlers, you can rank its head around. Like that's actually quite a bit easier to get it down to start choking it out, or
Mhm.
to start gouging out its ears. Plus, the antlers aren't connected very well depending on the time of the season. So it could be that it goes for you with the antlers. I mean, antlers have some curve to them, so you might get stabbed in the hand. But if you get those antlers and you rank it around by the head, you've now just broken the antlers off, and now you've got the weapons.
Oh,
I would
hell.
say deers are beatable, but you're not. It's not easy. It's definitely
You're
not easy to
bleeding.
win.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I can win in a knife fight, yeah, but you're also bloody as hell and need to go to the ER.
Mm-hmm. Then you have
Yeah,
an
I would never want to
iguana.
fight a deer. Iguana?
Yeah.
You're beating an iguana every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, iguanas are not nearly as big as everyone thinks they are.
I'm not good at
Even a
recognizing
big
the
iguana
size
is-
of
I'm
my
sorry,
dick
Andrew.
baby.
Like a big iguana isn't going to do anything. Like
Yeah. And then you have the squid I was talking about. You just karate chop it.
That's some of the funniest videos
Mm-hmm.
because like the squid is like.
The only thing
I
is, if
forget,
you're
it's
actually
is
in
it
the
color? Do
squid's
they karate chop
habitat,
it? It
you're
turns
not gonna
clear,
make
or is
it.
it the other way around?
Yeah, the thing is, if you actually are facing a squid in the ocean, you probably can't kill it. It's just literally never happening.
Yeah, you definitely
mean,
need a tool for that.
Depends on this type of squid. Like if it's a big ass squid, sure, but like if it's a little squid, then it's like the field mouse dilemma where like it's not killing me and I just can't catch it.
Yeah, that's what it's
Mhm.
gonna be. Is you're just never gonna catch that squid.
All right, the next one's a grizzly bear.
Oh,
I'm
dead.
gonna take the L on that.
So
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that too.
That's gonna be the biggest skill diff of the whole list.
All right, these next ones are just fucked. Rhino, a tiger, and a wolf.
I would say you might have a slightly better chance of not getting killed by the rhino than you do the grizzly. I think the grizzly is just as fast and it has more murderous intent, and it's
Mhm.
probably better at turning.
Yeah.
Rhinos are actually really stupid, so that's like the only thing you have in your corner for that.
But then you have the tiger
solitary
and the
wolf
wolf.
would be a weird one.
A solitary wolf, you're probably losing most of the time, but you might be able to win. I would probably say it's more dangerous than a deer.
Mm-hmm. All right, next you have sea turtle.
Also, a moose would absolutely destroy you. You have no chance against a moose at all.
Yeah,
Sea
obviously.
turtle. I'm pretty sure I could take a sea turtle.
I'd say a moose is about as dangerous as a rhino.
Yeah, it
More.
could probably beat a sea turtle.
Probably more, yeah, because they're.
I would say
yeah.
more because like the
'Cause they're
rhino has the
smarter, too.
horn and everything, but like a moose's antler rack is the size of some people's car. Like
Yeah.
those things are insane.
It's like if you try
so
to
much
like
mass.
yeah, if you got closer and tried to dodge, it's so much harder. It just has so much more range.
Mhm.
They're so much bigger than anyone ever thinks they are.
Yeah, they're easily bigger than so much bigger. They're how much do they weigh? Actually, I know they're enormous. They probably weigh a ton.
Let's look at a nice mule.
Yeah, male
Adult male moose.
800 to 1,500 pounds.
Yeah, 1,500 pounds. This thing weighs as much as actually. Oh wait, no. On the small end, it weighs as much as the tiny truck.
Yeah, this thing is enormous. They are as scary as bears.
I wonder if it's one of those same stats where they actually kill more humans because people are like, "Oh, moose," and then they do.
Oh
something
yeah, they
stupid.
definitely do because they also roam around humans more.
Oh,
Mhm.
when you see those videos where people take it and there's like one in like the parking lot at like a Tim Hortons and you're like, "Oh no." Gonna skip on the coffee today, guys. We don't need to.
Yeah, like I'm sure plenty of times a moose will just wander around. Grizzly bears will do that too, though. They are just looking for food. Like if you see them in a populated area, oftentimes a grizzly bear is looking for food. And it's not going to be that concerned about you.
Mhm.
But if it decides to charge you, your car is getting totaled or you're dying.
Now, hilariously, if you ask me black bear, my initial response is that'd be a pretty fun fight. I don't know if I could beat it, but I think I would have a blast fighting a black bear.
I
Oh,
think
That's because like we have them all over this area, so I'm really familiar just with them and kind of how
Yeah,
they move
I
around. But
don't think I could kill. I know I can't kill a black bear, but I don't think most people could kill a black bear. I think that's like the problem is the killing it. In terms of beating it, you can definitely win fight against a black bear. Like a lot of adult males probably could beat a black bear in a fight because they're just much more cowardly and they're much smaller than grizzlies.
beta. That's what the black stands for.
Yeah.
How come there's no statistics joke with black bears?
Despite being 60% of the bear population, they only commit they commit
Yeah, really, it's
they
the
commit
brown
90%
bears that are
of the
problem.
break-ins.
Yeah.
They commit
Oh, the break-ins, yeah, of course. The looting.
Look, black ones are gonna black ones are gonna steal your shit. The brown ones, they're gonna kill you.
That's how it is.
And then the white ones will also kill you. They're actually the most dangerous.
Yeah,
They're
there's just fewer of them.
bigger.
So.
Mm-hmm. Have you
Also, I
guys
think-
ever seen that
I think
video?
Actually, I assume polar bears are more aggressive than grizzlies, even too.
There's that video about the polar bear jail where they don't want
Polar
to kill
bear
them, but if they
jail?
come too
No.
close to humans, they have to like capture them.
Oh, funny.
I'll be back in a minute.
Like in Alaska or something, I'm guessing?
Yeah,
Or is it
yeah, like a really small town.
That's super funny, though.
They just have to spend so much of their money on fucking polar bear protection.
That's wild.
No, not Moses. We're talking about moose.
Moosies. Stolen picnic baskets? That's only the tie-wearing bears. That's a white-collar crime, is picnic basket theft.
I mean, he commits multiple felonies while doing it.
Still white-collar. I watched the what's it about how the animation of the collar works.
Dude, we got the event up. Let's go, Blue Archive.
The event finally started for Mahjong.
Yep.
Yeah, I wonder what the next Riichi City one's gonna be, because the Riichi City has like this classroom one right now. And it's had some good rewards actually. I got a lucky draw on it, and then those gift boxes where you get the gift box and then you just you pick it and you get to pick whatever you want out of it. So if you're trying to bond with a character, you can just be like, oh, I need this gift.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty nifty. Chunk, chunk. Chunk, chunk. Oh yeah, no stream tomorrow. But then yes, stream on Thursday.
Waifu Thursday.
And then no stream on Friday. So Thursday will be waifus and fun time.
I'm gonna bring it up again because this happens every season.
What are you bringing it up?
You didn't add some of the characters.
Yeah, I mean, I know it happens every season. Because where am I supposed to... they just don't make a mass list of all the female characters that are worthy of a waifu accreditation, you know?
True, yeah.
Give me... Fun time waifu Thursday. Exactly. We gotta send out the beacon so that Leon knows. Oh no. Get off. Get off. Pink, pink, pink. There we go. And then hold this by the stem. Oh, Jeebles. Just throwing it now. How many of these do I have to do? I have a TKL 88. Is that how many this has? Dot 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 dot. Dot 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 dot. Dot 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 dot. Dot 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 dot. All right. I don't know if this is too much either. Actually, now that I'm trying to keep it like really thin because that video made it look like it was just a real thin layer of lube. But like, I don't know, is it too thin? It's not thin enough. Andrew Clark hasn't been screaming at me, so I think I'm at least okay. But I mean the camera quality for the overhead shot is not exactly awesome. So here's hoping I'm at least getting it okay. Boom. Snip snap. There we go. Well, let me put these have a lot more feel than my red switches do. That's actually gonna be really nice. Been screaming with the Campbell soup can has been muffled. Big soup got him. Actually, wait a minute. Does this tell me how many?
I'm back.
If it's a GMKA 67, does that mean I need 67 keys?
Also, I have a question.
Yeah.
Should we shame people for eating their own shit?
Oh my gosh, that should be so shamed.
Peter Boghossian. Unpopular opinion. Mind your own business and leave this guy alone.
What?
I see the authoritarians are out en masse. If his constituents disapprove, they will vote him out. Meanwhile, I'm sure there are more substantive issues about which you could have a conniption fit and finger wave. A gay politician in Spain has abruptly resigned from his post after photos began to circulate showing him eating his own feces.
Oh no.
That's what that was about.
Why? That's terrifying.
He's gay, that's why.
But why is he eating his own? Oh, gross.
You know why he's doing it.
Licking a chili dog? Gross.
It's a fetish.
Why would you say that?
Gross.
What would
The
you
pictures,
say chili
the
dog?
pictures are of him
Because
eating
that's what
off
it's
of
called.
his bathroom floor, or at least I assume it's his bathroom.
The guy defending him definitely eats shit too.
Yeah, he's somebody who talks like he eats his own shit.
That's wild.
Guys staying out for the pew. Shame people for things like this is good for society, actually.
For sure, yeah. At all levels should we be... Like, there should be a level of shame for things that are, like, not healthy.
He doesn't have a foot fetish. He's eating his own shit.
Gross.
These are completely different conversations.
These are sickness. They eat the poo-poo. We will not have this sickness in Uganda. The best part is when he's like, they eat the poo-poo like ice cream.
From the butt.
He like pantomimes the licks and everything. It's so gross. Oh, I don't need to click that one.
I'm not linking it to you.
That was our
You should.
was it
We're not putting it on stream.
that was like when dead baby jokes were all the rage. We also had the chili dog jokes. Yes, lube. Lube, I say. With your off-brand China lube. It's totally safe? All right. I trust you.
Mhm.
Let's see. What do we got?
Hello, Trump.
Hello.
And hello, Sonic.
Hey, good to be here. Hanging out with my friends.
You are the
That's
single
great.
biggest lie you had.
Turn up a bit.
You were there for
Trump,
20 years. Why
Trump,
didn't you
we
do
haven't
anything?
started yet.
You were there for 20 years.
We haven't
Why
started
didn't you?
yet.
Why didn't you do anything? Go ahead. Go ahead.
We haven't started yet.
Go ahead.
Welcome to the 2024 presidential debate.
Why does he keep letting Robotnik but this guy blew up the moon? Why the hell does he keep letting him go? That doesn't make any sense.
You did let him blow up
That's
the moon.
You are the single big. You probably was the Jeb
Well,
Bush.
if I can
Jeb Bush.
interject, I would like to say that he's not the only one who blew up the moon. Evidence B, Piccolo.
I don't know what the hell he's talking. This guy is the
Separate
single biggest
universe.
fraud. This
Separate
guy's the
universe.
single. All I know is if I'm elected, I'm gonna kill Sonic and he's gonna go down a big time. And he's gonna get taken down. He's a criminal.
Then
His
why
whole
do you
thing.
have to say
Yeah,
that, Sonic?
well, you're no longer running anymore, so eat my dick.
Which one of you guys likes corn dogs?
Chili dogs! I like chili dogs.
Oh, that's it. Which one of you guys likes chili dogs?
Well, I'm sure Trump likes chili dogs.
I've had a few chili dogs myself. I don't
You
think
like chili dogs?
I don't think they're that bad, but
You
Wait,
like
okay,
chili
which one of you
dogs?
guys
I
likes
choked
chili
on
dogs
one.
better?
I don't like them because they're shaped like big. And I don't like to put that in my mouth. It looks like a penis covered in poopy, and I don't like.
Nice,
Uh,
nice.
Oh, wait.
This comes from
Chili
little Stacy
dogs
from
look
Iowa.
like feces.
Chili dogs do look like feces, Sonic.
Senator
Welcome,
Clark,
Andrew.
what's the liberal argument against eating your own shit?
That is unhealthy. And it's gross. I don't know.
It's gross.
Well, what legally can we do to prevent people from eating their own shit?
What can we legally do? How can we fix this legally?
Yeah.
Clark, it sounds like you're floundering right now. Get it together.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Well, I'm
So,
glad
anyways,
we got a great connection now. So that's
yeah, we do. While I'm at home.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And
You're on your home
there's
mic.
someone snoring in the background, so if you
I
hear
don't
snoring,
hear it.
that's what it is.
Is it a dog or is it a someone?
It's a someone. Anyways,
Alright.
so oh, real quick, you left right around the time I started like answering the questions about the Rubik's Cube beyond just it's a difference of perspective. So I don't know if you heard what I was talking about.
All I heard you say is that some pro speed cuber does like all the sides at the
No,
same
no.
time.
No. That's not what I said. That's actually no. Okay, so one, how would you describe like not precisely step by step, but like generally, what are the steps?
The first step when you're building a cube is to solve the bottom. Then once you've got the bottom solved, so that you start working on the sides. And once you build the sides, then you'll get some sort of shape on the top. And once you get that shape on the top, you'll input an algorithm that will solve the top.
Okay, so the point about saying you can't solve a Rubik's Cube one side at a time is that it's literal. You cannot solve it like one color and then another color and then another color and then another color until you get it all done. And the point is also to talk about how it is a system, right? Like the correct color combination, you can look at it, especially on the center pieces, is that the colors will always be opposite of each other. Like I think white is always opposite of yellow, or at least maybe, I guess that could change. I mean, if you had somebody build a different,
But
the
whatever
cube
it
isn't
is,
gonna
you
like-
started
change
as.
but it's going to
The
be,
cube stays as, yeah.
yeah. Anyways, you're going to always have those be opposite. So the correct coordination is going to be that way. And so when you are building it, you have to take into consideration the fact that it's a system that works together. And you can do isolated algorithms to manipulate. The point of it
And now you're roboting.
itself. And if you just amateurishly just take it one side at a time and you're not thinking about the system, then you'll build one side and then destroy that side in randomly trying to assemble a new side. You'll undo, right? The whole point is to think about it as a system.
But that's why you don't do it at random. You do the side.
I mean,
right,
yeah,
right.
but
the way
still,
that
you're
supposed
going
that's
to
the
go
point.
You're going to go step by step, and the
Indeed.
way you go through these steps
Sure.
is you get off. You first get one side and use that as your base, and you build everything else around it.
I hear what you're saying, but the idiom, one, it's common, and I didn't realize how common it was until I asked several people about it, and I know that you hadn't heard of it, and Soranis, you haven't heard of it. I get it, but no one I talked to, either online or in person, didn't know it, and I was actually a little surprised by that sampling.
What were you talking about?
The idiom, you can't solve a Rubik's Cube one side at a time. Everyone had heard of it.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
I was a little surprised by that, especially because you hadn't.
Most people I talk to never talk about Rubik's Cubes. That's part of it.
Well, no. It's just a common idiom. You know what an idiom is, correct?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
familiar
most
with the
people
term
don't talk about
idiom, but I've
Rubik's
never
Cubes with
heard
their
of that
idioms.
in my life. So
Yeah.
Are you sure
fine.
other people have heard of it, or do you think other people that you talk to and are friends with just have a similar brain thought and can hear that idiom and be like, yeah, I've heard that before?
Maybe
As like
maybe
a-
what?
as
Well,
like a- as
maybe.
Are you the
like a
person telling them
cultural
about
idea,
this?
right?
No. I was talking about it, and they were like, especially one person sticks out in particular. He was like, "Yeah, that's a common saying." Like he finished it for me, and he was like, "Yeah, that's a common saying." That's how he phrased it, not idiom.
I doubt that.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you say that, but I mean, anyways, the
It's my
point
word
is
against
that
his,
the
and
point
my
of the
position is
idiom, though,
smaller.
right? The point of the idiom is that if you're not taking the system into account while you're solving it, you're never going to like complete the Rubik's Cube because you're going to be working against yourself by manipulating things and not
And I feel like if
realizing
you're
that
smart, you could figure it out just by moving stuff around and figure out how it works on your own.
Well, it's not
exactly,
even,
but then you would be
but it-
figuring out how stuff works. You would be,
Yeah.
even if you weren't consciously thinking about the system, you're saying that you would be subconsciously thinking about it because you're so intelligent. But the point is you're taking the system into account. That's the
And
whole
it feels
point.
like the system and the process still is literally going a side at a time, practically.
Well, no, though.
You
so-
just
because
understand.
I hear what you're.
how
I hear
to
what you're
move
saying.
blocks
I hear what you're
around
saying.
while
But
keeping
literally,
your old ones in the same
but,
place.
but the idiom is literal.
That sounds kind of
and you-
stupid.
Well, I hear that. That's not how your brain works, and that's why
Yeah.
I would let it go. That's why I'm not going to like insist that you're just wrong. Is that the idiom
should
doesn't
do
do
that.
anything for you because your brain doesn't work that way, and that's fine.
And I mean, the official Rubik's Cube like solving algorithm doesn't work that way either. So it doesn't seem very useful. Like let's say you find
What do you mean?
20% of people understand this idiom.
What if it was 80% and you're part of the 20?
Okay,
Just
either way.
hypothetically, let's
if
just say
80% of the world believes in this idiom, you're bringing it up in a argument, a discussion where I'm saying that what you have to do is you have to meet people where they're at to be able to discuss on a case-by-case basis, and just saying that, oh, that thing that you are saying is okay now doesn't work because it goes against the liberal tribe, doesn't function because people don't always tribalize themselves into that liberal illiberal thing. They tribalize themselves into here are the things I believe, and this thing matches in my belief, and whether or not that thing is liberal or illiberal does not matter to most people. And so figuring out what the person's actual tribe is far more important to break them out of that or figure out how to argue against that than just saying, oh, well, that's an illiberal idea. I think the liberal illiberal dichotomy that it works when you're talking about wokeism and why stuff with SJWs and wokeism is bad. Like, that's functionally good, but the problem is that even if it is illiberal, the person will still believe that the idea is good.
Okay. And that's why I brought up the Rubik's Cube metaphor, is because I believe that you can do multiple things at once, and you can take things into account. And just like the proper way to solve a Rubik's Cube, what you were which is how you described it. Okay, I recognize this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can isolate for certain variables. In this case, it would be like recognizing when you're talking to an individual and you're trying to move them on a particular topic, right? You meet them where they're at and talk about the things that they care about. I get that. But there are, a person doesn't have to be locked into what was it? What is it? You can wear many hats, right? And so like using a certain type of salesman tactic might work best for one person, right? But maybe you also want to
hold on. Using a certain type of salesman tactic would work best for a certain type of person is kind of a tautological statement. Like, yes, using a tactic for something that would work.
No. What I mean though is but
sales tactics work on everyone. That's why it's called sales, not sales for this person.
I understand, but my point is that part of what I want to do is to help clarify this topic in general, right? Because I find that the discourse on it to be toxic, not in this like immoral kind of way, but in this what is it? When people are simply reacting to the situation, and they don't have a firm grasp on like where things belong. I feel like
you know the high IQ, low IQ meme, right?
Hold on, Stranos.
I actually don't.
Andrew, what?
But
demystify that a little bit.
Okay, so
this is the area you want to do. Like liberalism versus illiberalism is a thing that you're looking to discuss.
Well, sort of. I mean,
okay,
like just recognizing which positions belong in which systems.
Okay.
And the thing is that you can create a new system from hybridizing multiple systems. I'm not going to if somebody was recognizing what they were doing and saying, well, I am building a system that like takes the best from everything to try and get away from the worst of all these systems kind of thing. If somebody was wanting to do that, I wouldn't say no, you're wrong. I've heard actually people do that for some reason. I don't get it, but just recognizing what arguments belong where is good, because part of the problem that I see online is people making claims like, what is it? Like the far left sneaking into the center and then demonizing regular conservatives as being crazy people. And it's like, no. You're the one with the crazy ideas, right? These come from far left communist kind of ideas, and the conservatives are actually arguing the normative liberal position. You're the one you know, part of the problem also is when people talk on race, they're like, "Oh, I'm making a statement based off of race, and you're against it, so that must mean that you're a racist," right? When generally speaking, a lot of the conservative discourse online about complaining about the way things are related to race is the liberal position, and they're being demonized as racist when that's simply not true. They're vocalizing the liberal position.
Okay. So
So recognizing that they are vocalizing the liberal position.
Do you think somebody who is who thinks that the conservative in this case is racist would be swayed one way or the other because they believe their position to be illiberal?
Part of what I'm trying to, let me answer that by stating what I'm trying to do also. Another thing I'm trying to do, which is I'm not necessarily trying to move people on certain positions. I just want the if people realized that the conservatives had the majority liberal opinion, the normative liberal opinion, and they're like, okay, fine, yes, that's true, but that's still a problem. At least then we're starting from a position where we're understanding each other. Instead of this whole I really have the moral and ethical position, and you're the crazy weirdo, kind of thing. It's like
So
they can at least say that they can at least say that they can at least say I have the fringe, but more morally superior. I mean, they can state that, right? I have the morally superior position, even if it is fringe, even if it is different.
So even in that example that
normative.
you just brought up, the person who is the we'll say lefty, who is calling the conservative person wrong, is calling them immoral. They're not caring about the fact that they're illiberal or not. Like that the problem, like, here's where I think the difference is, and here's what it is. I love listening to your content on a educational level because I like learning about that kind of stuff, because I have like a desire to kind of understand what these mean beyond things. But that desire to sort of understand like the histories and like how things work and how this happens, or who said that and what they were thinking when they said this, sort of ends there. Once you get into the modern day with people who are talking to each other about things that they believe, now what people have said in the past and what the tribes have been split up in means less than the own person's moral framework. And so it sounds like I'm trying to say you need to be like individual with everyone. You really don't. There really are only so many flavors of people at the end of the day where you can basically reuse the same statements to move quite a few people on quite a few different things. But the idea that people in these sort of areas of abortion, racism, capital punishment, all of these areas would be moved on the idea of it being liberal versus illiberal, and not the perceived morality or the perceived good. Like someone who wants good for people or the group versus good for the individual. Somebody who's worried about the government having a controlling power versus having too many individuals with too much individualized power.
Well, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, it's helpful, it's fun, it's useful, but it's also just like in the argument against the woke tard, it just is not as helpful.
I hear what you're saying, but I feel I feel like you're wrong on two levels. Because me learning about all of this stuff actually has like I've learned how to recognize like the flavor of political flavor of person much better. Like I realize now that even if you have some liberalness to you, you seem to be far more libertarian. And part of how I describe libertarian is that somebody is, especially if they're American, they believe in natural rights, and they don't necessarily believe in the government's ability to regulate natural
Correct.
rights.
Now, how does that understanding? Let's say there's something that I believe that you think is abhorrent or is wrong for someone else.
That's part of the problem. Also, I think with communication with me and you is that I am mostly like 90% of what I want is understanding between people. Because like when I was talking with Spoon, like we dropped the conversation once we understood each other's positions. Like that's when he left.
Mm.
That's mostly what I want out of things.
You just want to understand then.
I just want to understand people and have
okay.
people understand me.
That's fine.
I'm not.
Then you understand it. Like
I'm
when I say
mostly
like,
not
oh, I don't
looking
think
to
the
convince
liberal like divide is where you convince most people, because most people don't actually care about that. They care about their internal moralities.
But here's the thing: is that if I was moving to convince people, right, of my stuff or of like the benefits of liberalism, I would want to start off with what liberalism is.
Well, but we weren't talking about benefits of liberalism. We're talking about, DEI be bad, right? How do you convince someone DEI be bad? And you can say, well, it's illiberal. And it's like, okay. Or you can say, in the long run, it actually hurts.
I don't think I would start that way.
And I don't think you would either. I just that's where this whole thing like just started though, was the chat comment that I remember seeing was illiberal versus, that it doesn't work there. And it was like, well, yeah, but like that's not a good argument.
Well, no. It started off with this the clip. The person was saying that they were making an offhanded comment that there's a dichotomy between liberalism and illiberalism. Or no, sorry, there's a dichotomy between liberalism and conservatism. And just offhandedly. And I was just mostly lamenting just the fact that this has become like just the accepted norm way of speaking. Not because I feel like it's damaging to liberalism, because I feel like it makes conservatives not want to associate with liberalism, when I feel like a clear understanding of what liberalism is.
Well, but most people could be tricked into being fine with liberalism as long as you didn't say the word. Like if you just used all of the ideas and themes and never said liberalism, then I bet most conservatives would end up agreeing with you. Even most libertarians would probably end up agreeing with you, right? It's literally just the word that's poison.
They may not
like,
take that final.
It is sad that the word is dead, but you've got skills to be able to work around that.
Yeah.
You ever get terrified of losing
that's where it started.
Brush hair in the key? Kind of terrified of that. I really don't want to lose a brush hair in here.
Yeah. Well, if you got a cheap brush, then that can happen. But
you know it. This whole
you
thing's
should be
cheap,
fine,
baby.
If you have to throw away the whole keyboard,
I'll tell you how much
whatever.
I paid for it whenever I finally finish it. It was not expensive.
Yeah, I was gonna show Andrew the midwit meme. Or
the midwit meme. Yeah, this one's great, Andrew. Let me pull it up. I guess you could have probably already pulled it up if you wanted to, but it's the
socialism. Socialism is when the government does stuff.
What's the other side? Socialism is when the government does stuff. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's basically explaining, it's like, this is why socialism is when the government does stuff. And you could simplify it down to this.
Yeah.
The whole point of this is the low IQ people don't need to know everything about a subject to be correct about it.
Yeah.
People could have a surface level thing, and they can be correct.
Technically, what is it?
It's like saying, "Oh, this game is woke." People can just leave it at that. It doesn't really need to be explained.
No, I hear what you mean, and actually, that brings up a very good point. The what do you call it? The point of all of it is that it's like the thinking fast, thinking slow model. Have you heard of that before?
I have. I don't know too much about it.
So yeah.
The gut reaction that you then justify later, kind of deal, or?
Well, it's a little bit different than that, but sort of. So the example that's used is something like you have a caveman, right? And he sees a lion eat his son, one of his sons, and then he's taking his other son out, and he sees a lion off in the distance, and he's like, "Oh no, we'll just stay away from lions," right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, on that journey, a bird flies overhead, and his son falls dead, and then because that's what the dad was paying attention, the caveman dad was paying attention to. He's like, "Oh, birds flying overhead, can kill a person. So, stay away from those birds," right? And so, even though it isn't the bird, that's like how a superstition can be born, right? And the point is that you're doing a very quick, very basic analysis of the situation. And thinking slow is like rationalism, essentially, like a scientific theory or scientific method where you're, thinking it out, building the knowledge based off of evidence and stuff. And so the point of all of this is, I'm getting to, is that we think slow in times of like where you have more cognitive ability, and it's not critical, so that on these topics and such, so that when you are like mentally drained, or you're just not wanting to think, or it is more critical that you think at a specific time, you need to be witty or something, I don't know. So you are able to think fast and correctly. You think slow early, so you think of fast later.
Right. That makes sense. Maybe I'm thinking of Blink. Is that what I'm thinking of?
Possibly.
I think Blink was like we get a bunch of data really quickly, and then we have these sort of gut reactions that we don't understand, but that those gut reactions can actually be often based off of quite a bit of information that we didn't realize we took.
Yeah.
I think
But
that's what I was thinking of.
The point isn't that.
But you're talking about how
we
discuss, we think we figure these things out before we ever need to get them in the field, right? Like you train so that you can be as good as you can be.
Yeah. And also this relates to also learning and stuff, right? So by doing all this heavy thinking beforehand, I can enter into a conversation, and especially by knowing all of these things in advance, when I am talking to someone, I can I can recognize, before. A good example actually of this is it's relatively minor, but it's a good example. There was a clip, an EFAP clip, And I was there for the EFAP, and I wasn't. I think I watched the what they were watching beforehand, even too. And I
What was
never
it
got
from?
any of this. I just thought it was funny. It was no bullshit talking to PSA
Oh, yeah.
Stitch. Yeah, about no bullshit talking to PSA Stitch about stuff, and he was talking about how Mahler is like and Rags are leftists. They are leftists, even though, like lots of other people, especially on the what leftists call Mahler and Rags on the far right. So they were joking about how funny it is that, like, oh, we're far right leftists.
Yeah, Greg's is definitely not a leftist.
Exactly. And so but knowing what I know now, I can easily see that no bullshit. Like, even though he hasn't stated it, all the things that he said kind of lined up that he's probably a neo-reactionary.
Yes.
And even though he never said that himself, just listening to his content, remembering his content, I didn't go back and listen to it, remembering all the things that he said, having watched that debate that he had with PSA Sitch and listening to this clip live, I realized that and knowing like how his thought process comes into the situation. Like, if PSA Sitch had known it at the time, he could have addressed things a lot more directly, right? And so he would have been able to hear, like, Mahler and Rags are leftists, and he would have that that combined with the things he was saying earlier would have been able to trigger him in the same way it did me later, that that he is a neo-reactionary, and then he would have been able to tailor the rest of the conversation with him towards that end.
So what was the conversation
Well,
that needed to get tailored towards a neo-reactionary position?
Well, he was saying that he had conversations with people on the far right, and they were being rather classically racist, something that me and you would call racist.
Okay.
Yet, no bullshit has an Asian wife, and why didn't he stick up for her, and a variety of other things. And so the point, would be that PSA Sitch could have tailored, or he wouldn't have been caught off guard by the responses that No Bullshit was giving. He would have it would have been a very expected responses coming from a neo-reactionary, because it plays out very, very similar, or like the way you might expect a
Do you think
neo-reactionary
something
to.
that someone says could be off-putting and throw you off, even if you know everything about them?
Yeah, no, I mean, what is it? I listen to Spoon's videos sometimes and have that very same feeling.
Yeah, so I don't know that knowing that they were a neo-reactionary would be necessarily the thing. What do you mean by like tailor the argument towards a neo-reactionary? How does it change the lesson?
The point he could have, like, once he realized that he was a neo-reactionary, he could have asked. He wouldn't have to. What is it? Okay, so without going over the video directly, he because I'm going based off of memory.
Mhm.
The conversation was kind of like not real, like this guy says he's on the right in general and not on the far right. He's not a racist, so he is just kind of like wondering, like he spends a lot of time teasing out different responses. And if he had realized that he was a neo-reactionary, he would have been able to skip a lot of these things, or at least ask these certain things directly, so that he wouldn't have to be confused. I don't know, like, because he was kind of just randomly asking questions on the topic in general, in order to tease out responses, especially what is it? Because Knobs thought that a lot of his questions were a trap. Like asking him because like
No bullshit. Thought Stitch's
Yeah.
questions were a trap.
yeah.
That would
When
make
he was like,
sense,
no,
'cause all
you
questions
can
were a trap.
answer however you want to answer. This isn't a gotcha. I just want to know what you're thinking. And he wouldn't let that go. He was like a bit paranoid.
Well, I mean, most questions are a trap on the internet.
Yeah.
The idea is you now have something immortalized that you've said. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like
whether or not you know someone is a thing, or that this is what they would say. Sometimes asking them the question and seeing what they say is useful, especially in debate conversations, because you could also be wrong. You could, think, oh, this person is thinking this way and is in all of these aspects. And then you ask them enough questions that you get down to
I hear
like,
what you're
oh,
saying.
their motivation was actually like pretty different.
I
But
mean, no bullshit's
but at
answers
the
are
same
so
time,
bad
like,
to everything. I would say anytime he answers a question, it's basically a trap.
Yeah. But
I
hear
don't disagree with the idea of knowing how these things work and what their basic broad sort of guideposts are. I think the problem is if you say, "Oh, that person's a neo-reactionary," and now you start going down that line of debate or question, whatever your tailoring means. I'm still not sure there, but like you tailor it in a way. But the problem is that person may be a neo-reactionary, but the reason they chose to be that, the reason that that's important to them, is actually a internal social mechanism where they're so focused on the family, the friends, the people around them, that now that's sort of what's grown from that thought process. And knowing more about that internal motivation from like the DISC system, where it's like, is someone personally internally driven? Are they looking for support from others? Are they looking to see how they can help other people around them? Or are they just straight up cold calculating? Can be a lot more useful in having those conversations with people than just saying, oh, this is the tribe that person's in, or this is the belief system this person sounds like they have.
I
agree. Like
I
with you, I put
agree.
you more in that SC, right? Like it feels very much from your anime takes and from the other discussions I've had with you, you're high in that calculation where you want to like sort of analyze and figure out, but you're also very high in the social and how you affect the people around you. And so when I sit down with you and we talk business, I'm going to sit and wait for you to start talking about business before anything else. That sort of tells me that trigger of like, oh, this is the kind of person you are. And then when you get into it, the sort of things that you use to discuss that, I'm now like, okay, this is what would help motivate you to buy. I say buy said product, but it doesn't always have to be shopping. It could be literally like trying to pick up chicks at a bar, and you're just trying to sell yourself, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
The motivation.
I definitely understand what you're. I definitely understand what you're talking about. The point I would try to get at is actually the Rubik's Cube, where I'm talking. That's why one of the reasons why I brought that up is because I believe in using multiple things at the same time. and or rather understanding the system, in this case using multiple approaches, right? Because you don't just use one algorithm. There are like at least 2, if not 3 or 4
there's a whole
algorithms
separate
that you
trees
use
between standard and speed cube, for example, right?
yeah.
But I guess my point is I just don't still see. So when I look at someone who is a neo-reactionary, who is a take me, who's a libertarian, who is they have these sort of political ideals, we'll call them. All of those political ideals and the reason that I feel that way stem from a set of internal motivations. And knowing the person's internal motivations is much more useful to me than to know what their current sort of belief expression is, if I can use that term. That I may be a libertarian, but how many people do you talk to that are old now that are like, well, I was a liberal in my youth, but now I'm conservative. Did their internal motivation change, or was it that their internal motivation now applies differently? That someone young had a high social motivation of that, like people in their group around them, and when they were young and in college, it was all their college friends, and they were really motivated by that. And then now that they're older and they've got a family, they're motivated at the family level to keep them safe and protected. And so their actual reasons for thought have not changed, but the sort of outlet of that thought has. And I feel like I get more utility out of it than
I hear what you're saying. That's one way of looking at it, but I think that there's no harm in there's no harm in taking both in mind.
No, and that's why I love listening to your stuff. I don't think there's harm in it. I just don't think it's useful as like a fight against.
I think there is harm
wokeism.
in it. I think there's harm in your takes on Newgate. Why did you ever like that?
No. I liked. No. You are misunderstanding me.
You talked up Newgate. You're like, hey, you're gonna like this.
I did not say that. No. In fact, what I said was I liked the books. I actually said I was worried about the Newgate from the trailer. I was worried about it because the way that
the bad. He was like, oh no.
Yeah. The way that they sometimes like art quality is actually related to how they adapt it.
It is literally Chinese entirely. There is not a single Japanese person I found that worked on that.
Wow. Well,
that drew anything. All of the artists are Chinese. It is a Chinese outsourced project.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm not against the Chinese, but that is wild that there's no like.
I didn't
was it
see
written by a Chinese person originally, or was it actually like a Japanese light novel?
No, it's a Japanese light novel.
Like all the animation was just purely outsourced. I don't know. I'd have to double check because I didn't check who the studio tag is. I'm not sure if somebody else put their name on it and then outsourced everything, because in the credits it was just a single Chinese animation studio. I'm pretty sure that was only them. Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, no, it was real. It was really bad, and they. Okay, so I'm not against, like changing things up because like especially from a book to an anime, because you can have a longer book, so you want to like, okay, we're not going to have literally every single interaction that they had in the book in the show, because that'll take too much time, right? But I remember watching episode 1 and thinking, I can see the fact that this is attempting to be the Newgate, but this is like so different and so poorly done. I mean, that it is, I don't know, it's almost a new thing.
I could see at a baseline the
wearing
idea.
Its skin. It's like
I could see
wearing its skin.
As I say, I can see the base idea. The base idea is we have our characters who are stuck in a death game. It's like SAO, where at the end of that, he defeats the big bad guy. We're going to move on to the next thing. He doesn't get a log out. He's transported 500 years in the future of the world as it's gone on. It still exists
Uh-huh.
now after the players left. That's fine. Yeah, like that's fine. We can work with that.
Andrew,
Everything else
they
around
have
that.
this bag. Is that
They
safe?
have yeah, no, that is it. And the thing is that the interaction is a lot slower and a lot more. There's a lot more humor actually involved. Like when he goes and sees the elf girl, right? He calmly approaches the building, and there's a line of knights, and he's like, "Huh, what's going on here?" So he goes in, and she's behind the counter dealing with the knights, and he waits for them all to leave, hearing what they're talking about and like the fact that they're upset and being told to wait. And so then he ends up talking with her about a variety of things that set up the world and like the changes that have happened since since in the last 500 years essentially.
Yeah.
And he learns a lot of things, and he sells some stuff, and she's quite astonished at like because he casually took out some higher level monsters on his way there and was selling them. And he learns kind of like what the new standards are, right? And he just casually leaves even though it's his place, and he just leaves a message for his NPC and then is on his way.
They just like
and
keeps
that
exploring the world, see what's up. Yeah.
explores the he gets in line and explores the city, and explores the restaurant, an inn, and some other stuff. I mean, like, yeah. And I didn't finish the first episode, so I don't know how much they showed, but it seemed like it was that bad.
Yeah. It was that bad, yeah. Yeah.
There was a fight at the end of it, kind of.
Oh, did he fight the Jack?
He fought this like knight, undead knight thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was bad. Yeah.
It ended with a sword inside a palace.
Yeah, I know. I
The
mean, that was. I
he-
think
It looked
that's
really
like even
bad.
been. That's
and
like
then
been. That's like they took like, gosh. That's like half the book or something. Like that happens like halfway through the book or something. They did it all in one episode.
Yeah,
Yep.
because basically he slices this thing's. He slices it, and the sword just flies out of his hand. I don't know why. He like slices the creature in half, and then the sword just starts flying off, and then it just like keeps spinning. I showed the
No,
GIF earlier.
that is the
That's yeah.
that is in the book.
I have.
Because
It's still very strange to me that like the way they present it, the way it happens, the way he's like, "Huh, I wish I could have that sword." It's just like
no, he didn't.
the
He
insanity of it.
in
is
the
just so weird.
in the book, he didn't even notice that he didn't even notice that it had gone. It was just like he was like smacked it out of its hand, and that was it. It went flying or whatever, but like he didn't pay attention to it whatsoever. And it wasn't until like he got back to town and be like, "Oh my gosh, there's a flying sword! It came from the
I mean,
forest."
elves are usually beautiful. That's about why. Yeah, no, the sword literally like flies over the castle town. I don't know how far away it is, but it just like flies and crashes through the window of the castle, right in like the empress's
Yeah,
throne, or
like
queen's throne.
No. It's the second princess's throne room.
Yeah, either
Or,
way,
like,
it
not
like
throne room,
crashed
her
in there.
room.
It was so funny and so strange.
Yeah, no, but there's like a ton of like he registers at the Adventurers Guild, talks to some twins about and leaves a note for a is it an elf or a half elf? I can't remember. But receptionist, she's away. He doesn't actually get to talk to her. He goes to the restaurant and has a conversation there. Goes to this inn.
Right. Did he also? Was he? Yeah. He. Oh yeah. Oh
Dude,
yeah.
the dude who was standing right behind
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring that up.
Dude, when he stands up to shake his hand,
I'm gonna
and it
pop this
just
up.
isn't the same.
You're not gonna pop it up because I'm gonna pop the stream off. Yeah. Miss Sparkles, you don't age out of progressivism. Progressivism ages out of you. People are progressive in the time period they're born, and then the thing that they're progressive for becomes the norm, and then it just
not necessarily. But they're talking about how the same thing you're talking about, where they switch from being like, oh hey, taxes should pay for everything, and then you become an adult, like 30, 40, 50.
I don't think we have anything more.
And you're like, and then you think, well, maybe we actually shouldn't have low taxes.
Also, people love elves because elves are eternally young and usually hot. It has nothing to do with pointy ears. That just comes along.
No, Blaine, you have to look at this.
Show. No, I don't have to look at this.
No,
I've not seen.
I will
Newgate.
post. I'll post.
Everybody
this
have a
Discord.
wonderful rest
It's really
of your
funny.
evening. I will catch you all on Thursday. No stream Wednesday. No stream Friday. See you Thursday for a Fun Time Thursday waifu event spectacular. Kampai, everybody.